Det viktigste med drifting, det dekka. Det eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kenda i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kenda var da, men hvor de på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcend.
Diving to me is like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made it. As far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
Everything I
Altså, det viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kenda i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kenda var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcend.
Diving to me is like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
Everything I
aller viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kenda i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kenda var da, hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless to transcend.
Diving to me is like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
is a brand new layout. It's being designed very uniquely, and a lot of time and effort being put into it by the one and only Kieran Hines, who spent many late nights up, put lots of tweaks and adjustments on it to make sure this track is as strong and talented, as well as having a very nice flow for our drivers. So the battle and qualifying the whole day will be very interesting to see. Today we'll be kicking things off with qualifying. We are got a stacked lineup here in front of us with nearly 90 drivers from Presto in the series. I will be going through them. Each driver will be getting 3 runs for their best score on the board with the ideal line that has been given to them for our briefing this morning. And after that we'll be going into our top 22 battle action, where drivers will get 50 seconds one battling against each other and moving on into our top 15, and so on as we move out throughout the day. The drivers will be going all the way through to the final. We'll be fighting out for that top spot to get a nice cash prize from our title sponsor Lucky Day Competitions, as well as walking home with a very nice personally designed trophy by another one of our sponsors, Downpatrick. My name is Adam Driver, and I'm joined here in the car by the one and only Mikey Pitts. Sure, lead Adam, good to be here, and like you said, it is cool to be up here in Northern Ireland. We've had such a rich history in the Irish Drift Series, Irish Drift Championship, Drift Game Series, Pro2, etc. of the Northern drivers coming down and dominating at right, to be honest. So it's good to be back up here in their backyard, up here at Bishopscourt and Drift. And the East Coast is going to be down, very picturesque here, and all this good with first week children's bit. So looking forward to seeing exactly what goes on over the course of the weekend here in Bishopscourt. We have about 65 Pro2 drivers, I think, going on qualification today. So always an interesting championship. The championship is very nice and changing, etc. Here in Ireland, all of these guys came up through the continuing forward and the championship. So yeah, we are going to see the start on tomorrow, I guess, all on track, and definitely looking forward to it. That is from like today, where we are going to really challenging track going for them. I see also practice there. Actually, getting to take another side of this is down on track. Out on the masters, again, to see it right up the person, and a huge set of water track masters that I today. I've been able to make a huge also think that I was really down there, really enjoying it, really with the group yesterday. It's strong set of even little tornadoes coming out of nowhere, and these guys are always down there. Not saying one bit about the weather or conditions, all of they love it, and getting a job making it here in the Thursday. You can see the track out there. It's completely layout, Mike. You can see it kind of going and there's lots of cases. And we're going through up here on our area. It's going on lots of details. Yeah. Like the video
to just 32 or top 32 drivers here this afternoon. It is semi-pro competition, which is the second tier of Irish drifting. Of course, we will have a pro competition tomorrow morning onwards, which is the top tier of Irish drifting and one of the top tiers in the world. Each driver, in order to qualify, they get 2 non-consecutive runs of the track. So basically, they go do their run in reverse championship order. So the real high championship standards will be the last to run, and then they go back to the start line, wait it out for their turn once again, and they go do their second run. Very important as a result, in order to put in a good lead run on the first one, not to put yourself in the unenviable position of having a bad score after your first run and leaving yourself maybe an hour's wait there in the pits talking to your crew with a bad score, which can kind of get into your head and affect your your second run depending on your mentality. So it is very important to try to get a banker lap on your first run and try to book yourself a place in the top 32. So yeah, and once again we are in reverse championship order, guys. So the guys who maybe didn't have such a great couple of first rounds, or maybe have competed here now for the first time up here in Bishopscourt, they will be running first, and we'll go down through the championship order then until we get to our top championship standard at the moment, which is Dylan Wilson, the Donegal man. So yeah, again, very technical track, as Adam mentioned, kind of watergrass hill-esque in certain sections, a couple of straight sections in between the zones there, and 6 zones, pretty much it's pretty much a full throttle track for quite a lot of it, Adam. There's a little deceleration zone before zone 3, but we'll run you through all that, guys. Don't worry too much about it. The technicalities, according as the runs start to drop in, we'll explain them all. We'll make it really, really obvious. And if you are a hardened drifting fan, welcome. If you are joining us watching drifting for the first time, don't worry, we'll explain it all, and it is quite the sport.
That's for sure, Mike. We're only figuring out ourselves, and our calls will only be a bit of a commentary kind of call on it, because we do have 3 judges in the tower with us here today. We are joined by no other than Kieran Hines, the grandfather of drifting, you could say. He's been around quite a long time.
The godfather.
The godfather. No, I meant the grandfather.
Okay.
I actually meant what I said there, to be fair. I knew what I was saying too. Joined by as well Tom Murphy and Tomas Falvey. But we're here, we're about to kick off. Our judge is about to get going. It's our first run of round 3, Mike.
It is indeed. It is Taylor Broggy leading us in the BMW, of course, guys. We have 3 classes as well within the Pro 2 class. We have rookie, who are first-time competitors, and we have the junior drivers as well, which are drivers from 13 to 16 years of age. So Taylor Broggy is a Pro 2 rookie driver and is doing quite a good job here in a car which is very, very underpowered. It's just 230 brake horsepower, but you can see there maybe not quite having the power to get out to the outside of zone 5 there and crosses the line. So the car going a little bit on the inside of the track, maybe lacking the horsepower to get out to the outer zone, and he will be sacrificing quite a lot of points from the judges as a result.
That is for sure, Mike. One thing I hear the drivers talking about as well is handbrake. You got to put a lot of effort on your handbrake to get into the zone to start. His score is in a 65.7, but we're on to our next driver now. It's Barry Forrest coming down over the hill.
It isn't actually, it's PJ Caffrey, I believe. Barry Forrest just dropping out of competition there, Adam. Sorry I didn't let you know that, as I was told by our track controller, Sean. But a little bit of a better line here this time from PJ Caffrey. The Barry Forrest graphic is on the screen, so we will confirm that. And yeah, nice line there through zone 6. Technical enough section there. Does a donut and back across the line.
That's for sure. PJ Caffrey, another Pro 2 rookie driver out there in his first run of today, maybe playing it a bit safe, trying to get that line dialed in and get the best score on the board for himself for his first qualifying run, and maybe going to send it full send for his second run as we wait for his score to drop in now from the judges.
Yeah, so just confirming that is actually PJ Caffrey on track, was confirmed by Sean, our track controller. Lots of semi-pro cars or Pro 2 cars, so we might not know each car to see them.
That's for sure, Mike. His score does drop in, and it's a 67 for PJ Caffrey on the board. We've seen it time and time again, though. Pro 2s, the scores can get quite high. Are we going to see some 90 scores earlier on in the bracket? We're going to find out as our next driver leaves the line.
Yeah, Edgar Krumans leaves the line in yet another BMW. Fires it in, nice initiation there in the rapid E46. And you just saw him there passing zone 2, now outer zone 3. Is a big one here for the judges. Big, long outer zone, which the judges want to see the rear wheels of the car pretty much painting that outside line. He passes the transition on zone 5. And yeah, really, really nice line overall here from Edgar, and fills up 6 as well. So 6 zones on this track as well, guys. Remember that as you're watching, and it is a good pass of the track there from Edgar. Maybe not perfect once again, but it is a first qualification lap, and these guys again are in reverse championship order. These are rookie drivers at the start, so it is a 72.3.
That's for sure, Mike. You speak there of zone 3 being quite a long one, and it sure is, and it's very important so as well. The driver, remember, it is a long one, because they got to wait until the very last moments to get out there, or they're going to struggle to get into zone 4. We can see here in the tire marks on the track here in front of us, a lot of drivers seem to be transitioning, getting out to the outer edge before zone 4, so that's something the drivers need to keep in mind throughout today.
As we move it along to Maximus Baguzis, the Pro 2 driver. So once again, guys, Pro 2 rookie and Pro 2 junior all competing here. The rookie drivers will put points on the board based just on the qualifying scores, and will have their own championship based on qualifying runs, but they do have the chance, as we saw a lovely wall up there, which just went wrong at the end, but they do have the chance, of course, to qualify for the Pro 2 top 32 outright. So basically the rookie and junior drivers will compete, of course, within 2 championships essentially, as Maximus there definitely dropped a couple of wheels, and I think it's going to be a small score there just because of the big mistake there on outer zone 3.
That's for sure, Mike. Dropping a few wheels and dropping a few body panels as well as he made his way around the track. Only 17 years of age though, and he's pushing 750 brake horsepower around the track, so he definitely has the power to get the line on, so he'll have to improve for his second one. It's a 66.7 for Maximus. Very strong name that as well.
Yeah,
on his first
take
one.
it to the max. And next on the line, it should be Pro2 rookie driver Yanis Drikis on the line in the BMW, and it is indeed 41 years of age, 280 brake horsepower. You will see the power figures jump quite dramatically as we go down through the championship order now, guys. But once again, the rookie and junior drivers and the guys further back in the championship probably starting out in the slightly less powerful cars, making their way into drifting and finding their feet, so to speak. And according as they get better and better, usually they tend to need more and more horsepower. It's why you see the guys in the pointy into the championship running 600-700 brake horsepower even in the Pro2 class.
That's for sure. I saw this man out on track yesterday and he looked very comfortable in that car. Chilled every time he came up to the line. He's looking very chill now as he gets through zones 1 and 2 and all the way into 3 here with a bit of a drag on the handbrake and right out to the edge, maybe just dropping a tyre there at that tyre wall, but fulfills zone 3 perfectly, making his way into zone 4. Another dragging handbrake here, nearly oversteering, completely missing zone 5 here now on the inside of the track, not where he needs to be as he transitions now to get onto zone 6. Big mistake there up around zone 5, Mike.
Yeah, a couple of flags out of the car as well. I'm not sure if they're Mayo flags. We'll see those from Johnny Flynn Pro competition.
They could be Cork flags. They're meant to be red and white, but they're a bit faded, I think.
Yeah, it's a 74.7 for Yanis there. Judges liking the rest of the run, but like you said, they're funny transition into 5 pretty much completely missing outer zone 5 there, leaving a couple of points on the board. But the judges must have liked the rest of it because the 74.5 is a strong score. Now we move on to the line, and it is Žydrijas Balkus, the 41-year-old with a little bit more power, 450 brake horsepower in yet another BMW.
That is for sure. BMW is definitely going to be a very popular chassis and brand that we're going to be seeing throughout this weekend. As we can see, the more modern BMW coming in over the hill here. A flick to get into zone 1. Lots of angle. Lovely through zones 1 and 2 there. Making it work for himself. 450 brake horsepower. Dragging a handbrake to get into zone 3. Not too deep on start, but gets in there. Shallowing out towards the second half and now, so he transitions back into zone 5, fulfilling it absolutely perfectly on the line. The judges want to see now into zone 5 and transitioning here for zone 6. Between 5 and 6 is so fast, Mike. Ooh, very late into zone 6 there, taking out a cone as well. But a few small mistakes there, but a strong one for his first one.
Yeah, dropping a wheel there just before the finish line, so the judges will knock him down for that mistake. Of course, 1 wheel drop is a small deduction, 2 is a larger one, 3 is a 20-point deduction automatically off your run, and 4 is a 0. Which is pretty much the same as a spin score, but it's a big score there for Žydrijas. It is 80 on the board for the Pro2 driver, and that is a very, very respectable score, which could see him in battle action later on. The cutoff is usually quite high here for Pro2 in Ireland, but we move it back to the line to Davis Feracevas.
You're very good at these pronunciations.
I've been practicing with the Polish Championship, so I kind of have a little bit of experience at this stage. So Davis, the Pro2 rookie driver, in guess what kind of car he's in? It's a BMW.
Ferrari?
No, it's a BMW.
It's red though.
Red.
That is a BMW. It's a BMW E36. He's coming in over there here. Quite low power, 240 brake horsepower for our Armagh man. As he comes shallow on the track here between zones 1 and 2. Oh, I'm not too sure if he really made it into zone 2 there, Mike, but dragging the handbrake to get into zone 3, slowing himself down a lot there. We're getting lots of angle. That's what we want to see now as he tries dragging and getting his whole way into zones 5. Lovely and deep into that zone now as he's on the second half of this track. Lovely and wide there through 5 and through this really quick transition part here between 5 and 6 into 6. Second half of that run looking very well.
Yeah, really liking the finish there from Davis. Really technically quite spot on, to be honest, especially compared to what we've seen so far. So I think he's in for a pretty big score here, and it's a 75.3. So 75.3 for Davis, the Pro2 rookie driver. Remember, guys, the rookie drivers are competing in their own championship based just on their qualifying scores, but they can qualify for Pro2 top 32 outright. Now, Ryan Quill in a borrowed car. We saw him in Watergrass Hill losing the wheel off his E46 twice in qualifying. But the young man, nice young man actually, so looking to see what he can do here and get a bit of look hopefully behind the wheel of this borrowed BMW.
That's for sure. Hopefully he keeps the wheels on this time as he drags the handbrake to get into zones 1 and 2. A bit sketchy there, Mike, on the inner side of the track now. Dragging the handbrake again up against the wall. Lovely position on track, but bit too deep into it, into the tyre wall on zone 3.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the tyre walls, at least, so they're not a full stop like the concrete wall can be, as we saw Adam LZ and the Matt Field incident in Formula Drift. happening there in practice on Thursday night.
That's for sure, Mike. But that crash as well, as we're speaking about it there, is a pure show example of how drifting is. Imagine saying in Formula 1 after a crash like that to someone be back out on track only a couple hours later. Only sport you'd see that in is drifting. The sportsmanship and the determination from teams and drivers is absolutely incredible, as it's 0 for Ryan Quill now, but we're back to the line. It's Sean Bainbridge, who's been having a few issues with his car over the last few rounds, showing up to each round, but just not making it as far as qualifying, with issues with that car from, if I'm correct, someone saying with some engine issues as well as diff issues that he's been experiencing over this weekend, welding out the diff, not getting much practice since he got it sorted, but he's feeling a bit confident. He's back out here and he's just delighted to finally be back competing after car issues.
Yeah, Shawnee B, all the way up from Leitrim, good spin up for quite a lot of the Irish competitors, of course. Shawnee B making his way up here as the tyre wall just gets fixed to our right hand side. We are directly across from zone 4 here in the tower, in case you were wondering, pretty much where the camera is looking from.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, the big box that stood out like this 100 acre of just completely flat ground, just that one box that's elevated, that's us.
The one container, that's us,
yeah,
exactly. So we are actually indoors for this event, which is slightly unusual for an Irish event. We're usually in the mobile tower on top of the IDS truck, but in the lap of luxury here, Adam, with chairs and everything.
That's for sure. And it's one day that it's sunny as well and we're indoors.
Yeah, well, it's not quite sunny, but it's not bad. You can hear my chair creaking here in the background.
It sure is.
Yeah,
sure is.
It's, it is good to be seating. So once again, guys, yeah, 65 cars and 32 positions. So you can do the maths. More than half of the half of the drivers will be going home pretty much.
But will Sean Bainbridge be going home here? As we can see him getting through zones 1 and 2, not in the ideal line. Bit of a straighten here now between zone 3 and quite wide. They're dropping tyres on the hour edge, but he is getting into every zone. It's better off to drop tyres than not hit the zone at all. As we can see him here getting into zones 5 now, dragging a handbrake in through 5 to try keep it in there, but looks like he's struggling just a small bit, Mike, there now, and on to 6 for the second half of his run. Is he still having diff issues? Is that diff opened up?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it looked to be trying to extend the drift there quite a lot on the handbrake, and not coming together there perfectly for Sean, unfortunately, on his first qualifier. So he'll be back in the pits having a look at the car, and it is a 56.3 here. And you can see, guys, once again, it is a old completely now disused World War II airfield. So very, very interesting venue here. Lots of space to do pretty much whatever you want. So just getting confirmation there, we're missing a couple of drivers, couple of mechanicals in the pit. So next on the line, it should be Thomas Ray, the Pro2 rookie driver.
It sure is, Mike. This man himself is actually from up this direction, and quite popular from up this direction as well, as he's part of the YouTube channel, The Rashmen as well. Great content from them. And I was chatting to him yesterday. They're going to be doing some documenting as well of their first year competing in drifting, as we can see him out here in his IDS 250. The only chassis I've seen of this in competitive drifting in Ireland, in my time anyways, for the last couple of years, Mike, but you can hear this car before you see it as well, just pure trumpets. It's like a band coming towards it.
Yeah, is it the standard V6? Or
Sure is, sure is.
Yeah, so definitely a chassis worth having a look at. We actually had a SC300 in the Polish series a couple of weeks ago. Very good looking car, still in development, but definitely nice to see some different chassis in the 250. You know, the successor to the 200, so will be a common sight on the road. So a lot of people will be watching this one with interest. Drops a wheel on the way in though, Adam.
Drops a wheel, we're getting deep into the zone. Completely missing zone 2 though, which we will be down quite a few marks from. In fact, to score quite a lot. Getting into zone 3 there now, struggling a bit. Few clutch kicks, you can see that car jitter and shake as he tries putting all the power into those rear wheels now as he comes into zone 5, shallow on it as well, missing quite a few zones here, Mike. It's going to be a low score for him, unfortunately. He does finish out his run, but he has his second run to improve on that. Is he going to have the confidence after that first run though?
Yeah, well, it's quite an open track here. You do need to suit your grip level to your car. Speaking of which, we have a 86 on the line, but your grip level, you know, really has to be suited to your car. And I think Thomas there may be having a little bit too much grip for the wide open Bishopscourt track here, and losing a couple of the outside zones as a result. and it is a 55.3 for Thomas Rain. We move it back to the line to a car which did exceptionally well here a couple of years ago in the wet.
That's for sure, Mike. You say the wet. The wet is completely different though to the dry, and it's a sunny day here today. So how is that A86 going to do?
Well, let's see. Ian Hamilton with the 20 valve Corolla. What an iconic sight in the drifting world. Very, very rarely seen these days in competition, especially with the with a naturally aspirated 4AGE under the bonnet. But let's see what he can do. Jack McWhinney doing wonders in this car in pro competition, taking it all the way to the top 4 in the wet here a few years ago. But Ian Hamilton with a totally different task on his hands in the dry here, as you mentioned, Adam.
That's for sure. Probably the lowest powered car on paper that's on our grid, as we can see him here struggling, but getting into zone 1 and 2, keeping it right to the edge. He paid attention throughout briefing this morning as he tries getting through zone 3 here, just dropping out of it, back into it towards the end. But now here on to zone 5, it looks more like he's driving the line, Mike, but he is definitely on the line here, as we can get him and see. Back into zone 5 here. That car sounds absolutely outstanding. Missing zone 6, getting into just the edge of it, and finishing out his run. 170 brake horsepower in that. You can't blame it for all the clutch kicks.
Yeah, lots of clutch kicks there. The little twin cam, as we call it here in Ireland, doing all it can, but unfortunately maybe a little bit too much of an ask here in this pretty wide open track, and it is a 55.7 for Ian Hamilton, who is a rookie driver though, will put points on the board in his own championship. Now we go back to the line to an MX-5, the only MX-5 I know of in competition actually at the moment. It is Connor Liddy. Let's see what he can do. Difficult chassis to drift at him always.
That's for sure. Very short wheelbase and a very small car. Compared to a Gold car is what I hear quite a lot. 210 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car though, so it should be plenty enough for such a small car. I saw him in practice yesterday, looked quite comfortable, very deep there into zone 4, dragging the handbrake now into zone 5, trying to get that line dialed in as best he can. The man from County Antrim pushing that MX-5 across the line.
Yeah, really good run there from Connor, and of course we will explain a little bit more of the technicalities which the judges want to see based on briefing this morning, according as we get up along the qualifying order. We can get really technical, but it's a 73.7 for Connor, which might see him skirting around the top 32 possibly here in Bishopscourt, but we'll have to see. I think the cutoff will be a little bit higher, but we'll have to see as we move it along down to the line. It is the first of our Nissans, proper S chassis drift cars at least. I believe it is Jason Gallagher on track.
It sure is, the man from County Donegal, Northern Ireland, not too far of a spin for him. He's out there on track, creating loads of smoke in them street tyres. Jason Gallagher pushing right out to the edge of each and every zone so far. Can he continue to do so? Very shallow there on zone 5. It's a quick transition here now back into zone 6.
Yeah, really good run there, especially towards the end from Jason Gallagher. And Donegal man with lots of power here. So one of the higher powered cars we've seen so far, and it's a 79.3 for Jason. Putting him well up there so far. I believe that is first position it's second after G3. But we move it along, no time to think about it. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Rad Don Burkett. It's not Rad Den, it's Rad Don. We have our own version over here. He doesn't have a Supra, does have an E46.
He sure does, Mike. Usually when we see this man out on track, he's giving away t-shirts and giving away passenger spins, but right now he is doing a spin himself. He gets into zone 5, looking quite strong here from Murad. I was chatting to him yesterday. He much prefers the rain. He doesn't have all the power, but he's making it work for himself there. A bit shallow on zone 6, but he has the line complete.
Yeah, like you say, just shallow on 6, but really liked his run. Other than that, always the showman is our Don, and a man who's around the drift scene with quite a long time. Dips in and out of competition, but you know what? I think he's going to be in competition this evening because it's an 85.3 for Rad Don Burkett, so a big score from him, which should see him good for battle action later on.
That's for sure. He's going to be happy with that one. As we can see, our next driver come over the line. It's meant to be Saoirse, but it's not. It is Brendan Kearney, if I'm correct, so in saying, in his stunning Skyline.
Yeah, Brendan Kearney firing the big Skyline in the R33. Quite a big chassis to be maneuvering around some of the tighter Irish tracks, but plenty scope for here to stretch its legs in Bishopscourt. Two big, long, full throttle sections here just after entry, after the first corner and after zone 3, so plenty room for the RB powered car to stretch its legs. And Brendan Kearney, maybe not with the, the tidiest run, but good impact on that one. And let's see what the judges think of that.
That's for sure. Mike's way for a score drop in. As I briefly mentioned, our Sergio Barr as well, bowing out of competition, a rookie driver, having quite a few car difficulties this year, which was quite a shame to see. But it's an 80 on the board for Brendan Carney. We're going back to the line now, as another man from down south is Jan Ritchie.
Right, lad.
I pronounced that very bad. Either way, he's missing zone 2, quite unfortunate, but getting into zone 3 here now. Yeah, put him off. Sorry about that, Jan. But he's here through zone 3, part of the welded gear, solid team, very stylish BMW as he pushes it around the edge of the track. Bit of a dragon handbrake there, a bit sketchy on it. Doesn't look like he has all the power, only 240 brake horsepower. Is that enough for him to do what he needs to do in that big car?
Yeah, well, a very entertaining team. If you've ever seen these guys in 360 Motorsports Park in Kerry on the practice days, they're doing drift trains. They're super entertaining, all running BMW chassis, mainly the E9X chassis. So yeah, really cool team to see, and it's just a 67.7 for Jan on the first one, so we won't be seeing him for battle action unless he improves on his second lap. So that long wait we mentioned in the pits awaits him now for about an hour until he comes back out again.
That is for sure, Mike, and then all the pressure is going to be straight on him, so hopefully he can put it across the line and get a score to keep him in the top 32. We're moving back to the line now as another BMW is coming down over the hill. In E46 is Ross Patterson.
It's Ross Patterson firing into BMW, dropping a wheel on the way in though, unfortunately, and then as a result going a little bit shallow, missing zone 2 as he does so. Now gets back pretty much on line for 3, runs the wall, and he's right on the outside for 3. Perfect around all the way around 3 there, picks up 4 really nicely on the outside of the track, rotates the car back around. That's a really nice entry into 5. Maybe could be a tiny bit wider, but dials on the angle now and flicks the car a little bit late back into 6, and a good commitment, especially for the second half of that lap. But the mistakes were there at the start, Adam, so I think the judges will, you know, be scoring him at a maximum of high 70s here even.
You're quite wrong there, Mike. The score drops in. It's 87, putting him in the top spot of qualifying so far. We'll definitely be seeing him in battle action. As I said, Mike, us in commentary here, doesn't really matter to us, but it's his home track. He's from County Down, one of 8 drivers from County Down now.
Let's take notice of that, Adam, because there was quite a big wheel drop on the way in there, but the judge is not penalising it, so let's use that as a point going forward.
That's for sure, Mike. We're back down to the line now. It is a high-powered 350Z chassis driven by Edgar Linus. 500 brake horsepower, Z powered from Craig So. I'm saying here, this man was getting loads of practice in yesterday, both in the chase and lead position, doing as best he can. Oh, just shutting it down there nearly by zone 5. Not too sure if he was just offline, scared of going into the tyres, or some mechanical issues. But Edgar Linus, not too sure if he'd be happy about saying this, but the eldest driver we have out on track, one of the nicest guys going to be. He's such a happy little spirit around drifting. We're waiting for his score to drop in now for Edgar Linus. It is going to be a 54.7. Another man from County Down as well, so we didn't have too far to travel.
Yeah. So yeah, not a big travel there, but the 350 there just bogging down around zone 5 there and losing power as we move it along to Luke Fisher, the Kildare man. Bringing up a fuel pump for him from Group D, so double jobbing this weekend.
That's for sure. Is this Luke Fisher? I'm not too sure. I thought Luke Fisher drove a different car.
It is Niall Looney, in fact. Yeah, sorry, wrong graphic on the screen there for a second. It is Niall Looney on our list as well, so that makes sense.
That's for sure. Niall Looney as well. Not getting exactly on the line there. Big dragon handbrake and flick into zone 3 there. Too much momentum in the car, putting him off the line, but sorting himself out now for the second half of this run now as he's into zone 5. Taking it nice and long on the drift here, flicks it back into zone 6 and across the line.
Yeah, once again, guys, if you are joining us, welcome to round 3 of the Irish Drift Series up here in Bishopscourt. Diff and Drift, the disused World War II airfield, which we have turned into a drift track for the weekend, and that is a huge score for Niall Looney. As I waffle on, it is a 90 for Niall Looney there, putting him straight into first position. Great run there from Niall. But welcome to here, guys. We are gridding the cars, of course, for battle action later on here at round 3 for semi-pro competition. We'll be moving on to pro action tomorrow, where it all happens. We go back to the line to another rookie driver after Niall Looney, the rookie driver tops qualifying so far. It's Simon Osborne leaving the line, a rookie driver from County Antrim as well, so not too far a distance for this man.
That is for sure, Mike, from Prexon saying another one of the rash men there, completely missing zone 2, not in drift, almost just driving through and getting up to zone 3. Maybe he really liked zone 3 and just wanted to get there fast. As you can see him here, filming it absolutely perfectly, not too much angle. This sketchy will correct himself again, back online now, drags a handbrake up against the wall. Lovely stuff there from Simon Osborne on zone 5. And you can hear the trumpets roar as he gets over the line and finishes out his run.
Sounds like Chewbacca laughing.
It sure does.
Yeah.
It sure does.
It does. It really does. But it's a 63. The judge is not liking the sound of the 350's head there. It's a 63 for Simon Osborne so far. And he'll have to improve. But he is a rookie driver once again in his own championship. Now, a man who battles his car every round, one of the nicest guys in drifting as well. It's Liam McGill, currently building an E92 with, I think it's 2J power, but he is still campaigning his turbo BMW engine, the Mazda RX-8.
That's for sure. This car is like a bit of a Frankenstein of a drift car. Looks a bit like Frankenstein as well. I can see him here through zone 1, sketchy, missing zone 2 now in the middle of the track, not where he needs to be for Liam McGill here. Not in line at all, trying to sort himself out, missing zone 3 completely. This is going to be a very low score for Liam McGill, quite unfortunately. Doesn't look too comfortable in this car, gets a lot of track time in it. Whenever it comes to competition, not working out for him as he makes his own line now, decides to go off track and widen zone 5 there for himself, but decides to go through the zone 6 that Kieran Hines put down for him.
Yeah, 4 wheels off track there, unfortunately for Liam McGill. Double wishbone chassis, the RX-8, difficult to make work very well. The RX-7 before it was famously difficult as well, the FD. But Stefan Wills leaves the line, the Pro2 driver in the 180SX, now flicking it in, lovely flick, left and right Scandinavian flick. Looks delighted in the graphic here as well, so he'll be delighted with his entry, but a bit of a waver there, Adam, then a bit of a correction around 2, now he gets back into 3.
He sure does get back in the tree, right out to the edge of the tree, so you say, Mike. Stefan Wills looking very happy in his picture, always very happy outside the car as well, a great character, always great laugh. Bit sketchy here now in zone 5, missing it, maybe just getting in there on the very start, I'm unsure, but flicks it back for zone 6. Second half of that run was not what I was looking at and seeing from Stefan Wills yesterday in practice. He looked very confident yesterday.
Just heard a kind of a moan from the judges there as he kind of didn't finish out the run there, but maybe dropped a couple of points right at the end. But it's an 80 for Stefan Wills, dropping him up there, way up into kind of joint 4th position there with Jedrius and Brendan Kearney. So judges maybe deeming that it was just across the finish line. As we move it along to our first female competitor, it is Kat Derrin, wife of Matt Derrin, believe it or not. It's the Kat and Matt show, the Drift Couple IRL, one of the iconic teams of Irish drifting. And Kat Derrin in the supercharged V8 powered E30 BMW, another interesting engine combination.
That's for sure, Mike. So you can hear the turbocharger on the job absolutely whine as it comes down through zones 1, 2, and now into 3. Kat Derrin going out with the man with the best beard in drifting, Matt Derrin, looking very strong on this run so far. She's getting loads of practice in yesterday as well, bit of a drag on the handbrake there, missing zone 5 now though, not getting right out to the edge of it where she needs to be. Flicks it back now for zone 6, just a bit shallow on and a bit sketchy, but gets it across the line. It's definitely going to be a score on the board.
Yeah, I think she was on for a really good lap there actually, but she just hesitated as she came into 5, kind of went on the foot brake a little bit too much and lost speed. It will definitely hurt her score, but up to that point she was on for a really good score. But you know what, it is a good score for Kat Derrin, probably see her good for battle action. It's 82.3 for Kat Derrin, all the way up from Laois, and she'll be happy with that one. And I think she was possibly heading towards the 90s there apart from zone 5, so she could be on for a big run. And we move it back to the line. Of course we have to blast through the cars, you know, in Pro2 qualifying because we have so many of them, guys. No time to dwell. It is Chris McConnell on the line, the Pro2 rookie driver, and another Nissan, but it is the 350Z again.
It sure is. Truback is coming over the hill here now with 280 brake horsepower. Another man from County Down, his home track, using the fact of this round being up here to compete today. Getting lovely through zone 3 there, right out to the edge of it, so he is, Mike, using every trumpet underneath the bonnet of that car to get where it needs to be, but unfortunately not into zone 4 where it should be, and missing zone 5 now. I think I gave him commentator's curse, looking so strong in the first half of that run. Can he correct himself for zone 6? He does so, but what damage is that going to do to his score?
Yeah, just struggled a little bit between 4 and 5, seemed to run out of legs, maybe RPM as well, just couldn't get that nice flow from 4 into 5, and it's a 69.3 there from Chris McConnell. So a little bit of work to do on the second run for the rookie driver. Now back to the line, it is Dave Flaherty back to the line, a man you might expect to be a little bit further up the championship at this stage.
That's for sure, Mike. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm used to seeing this man out on track and looking very strong with 450 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that BMW E46. Very stylish livery on it as well, and very stylish run so far here. As we can see, loads of smoke bellowing out from the back end of that car, getting into zone 5. This could be a high scoring run, Mike. He's through zone 5 now, a bit shallow on it, but flicks it back now for zone 6, crossing the line and finishing out that run. that could be a good score and see
Yeah.
that action, I'd say.
One of my favourite BMWs on the grid. That livery is beautiful. I was going to say that he was top in qualifying there, but that little bit of a mistake coming into 5 there just caught him out. But it is second position for David Flaherty with a score of 88. So he could have easily top qualifying there if he nailed 5, but unfortunately for him, just pulled out a little bit early out of 5, and that hurt him. But Dean Dillon now is on the line. Once again, guys, reverse championship order. We're blasting through the cars here. It's all action at IDS. And Dean Dillon looking very workmanlike in his graphic there, all business, Adam.
He sure is. I'd say he didn't even take a photo for us. I'd say that's just a work photo from
Work photo from the
work card, you know,
Yeah.
just like, or the passport photo.
It is indeed the man from way up the north in Old Tyrone, as the song goes.
That's for sure,
Way
Mike.
up in the north in Old Tyrone. No.
Well, we're going to close off the karaoke and get back to the drifting as Dean Dillon's coming down over the hill here, dragging the handbrake through zones 1, not too shallow, or not too wide where it should be, and missing zone 2 for himself. Dean Dillon now in through zone 3, another very stylish car, driven by the 35-year-old man. 450 brake horsepower, lots of power to do what it needs to do, but can he do it? Lots of drivers struggling there on zone 5, so they are, but flicking back here into zone 6. It's getting quite sketchy on a few runs now.
Yeah, well, the track could be gripping up a little bit once again. Track tips will naturally slightly increase as the afternoon goes on and more rubber gets laid down. Of course, there is plenty there for practice, so conditions could have changed slightly compared to practice, and it's a 67.3 for Dean Dillon. Of course, drivers with 2 practice sessions, 2 groups of 2 practice sessions, so even with all the cars here, there was 3 hours of practice earlier, so drivers should be pretty used to the track. As we move it down to the man from the west, it is Cathal O'Grady, the Pro2 rookie driver.
It sure is in this car that you're not going to miss no matter where you are, in like a very pearlescent green here, lime green, as he comes through zones 1 and 2 absolutely perfectly now into zone 3, dragging a handbrake though, a long drag, but getting into the zone where he needs to be right out to the edge of it. Cotton looking very strong now, flicking it back into zone 5. This will be another contender now to top qualifying so far, Mike. As we can see, 720 brake horsepower out on the track right now, being used to every point through zone 6 and crosses the line.
Yeah, really nice lap there from the man from Ballinasloe. And the solar roofing contractor, that the sun is going to shine on his score, and it does indeed. It's an 83.3 for Cathal O'Grady. So 83.3 for the Galway man, with 720 brake horsepower. Some of the higher powered cars coming in now to Pro 2 qualifying, as Jack Irwin is on the line, back to 330 brake horsepower for the 17-year-old driver from County Tyrone, another Northern Irish driver joining us here in Bishopscourt.
That's for sure, Mike. Getting a few fun facts in there. There's about 8 drivers in total from County down here today with us competing, but we're going back to the line now. It's the man from County Tyrone, Jack Irwin, in his BMW E36, 330 brake horsepower. Can he use every one of them ponies to do what he needs to do as he completes into zone 3 there now? A bit of a stumble there halfway through it, but comes out of the zone absolutely perfectly and into zone 4. Lovely, not missing it at all, back into zone 5 now. Lovely wide, flicks it now, strong flick into zone 6. The second half of that run looking very strong from the 17-year-old Jack Irwin.
Yeah, 17 years of age. The future is bright in Irish drifting, that's for sure. And you know, a lot of people not able to believe the average age that we have over here in competitors, and it's a 76.3 for the Tyrone young man. So he'd be happy enough with that. He is a junior. Well, it's down here that he's a junior driver, but it says he's 17, so you'd have to verify that.
That's for sure, Mike. Look at this car coming over the hill. It's another well-geared, solid car. It's one of the boys from down south. Very stylish looking livery here to get right out to the edge of the track. Finbar Crowley looking quite strong on this run. Only 250 brake horsepower in that car as well. Focusing a lot on the style more than the power, but he's making it work. He's out here to have fun. Looks like he's doing so. Coming up all the way from County Cork.
Up Limerick.
Up Limerick.
Up Limerick, says the Limerick man. But yeah, I'm a Cork man and I'm all for Finbar and the lads here. It's an E91, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's an
E91. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure. So I used to always say
With the back cut
E92, but you correct me on that.
It's an E91.
It's like an E90.5 or something now because half of it's gone or something.
Half of it's gone, exactly. So it is an 83.3 for the Cork men. And Dave Richards, another big BMW man, but a Kerry man this time, leaving the line. Good friend of mine as well, and a man who can put a fantastic lap together, or sometimes just decides to do whatever he wants. But you know, he had a fantastic winter series. Adam, as you know, we ran a series here in winter, 3-round series. Dave Richards, one of the top guys in that series, doing a tentative, nice, controlled entry there into 5, not making any big mistakes here, not, you know, risking putting any wheels off. A very, very controlled textbook first lap there, to be fair, from Dave Richards. To get a score on the board, get yourself into battles, then hang it all out, take the risks on your second one once you're in the show.
That's for sure, Mike. He was dialing the car in a lot yesterday, having a few little bumps and humps to her yesterday, hitting the tyre wall a few times, making damage to that car, but getting it back out there, looking quite well.
Yeah.
86 on the board for David Richards. He'll be happy with that one now. But I'm hearing up next, it isn't who we think it'll be, Stephen Halferty's car. It is going to be...
Yeah, it should be Kieran Lynch according to our sheets here, but I see Kieran Lynch warming tyres, so we just confirm who is driving Stephen Halferty's car here. It is Callum Coogan. I hear over here, Callum Coogan, typical Callum Coogan stuff. All these lads swapping cars, Callum and Halferty and Aaron Green and all those fellas, they never really like driving their own cars, they just drive Halferty's car.
That's for sure. Sure, when it's there, you may as well. It's big enough you can take them all in at once. The big wagon here, as we see Callum Coogan looking very comfortable in Halferty's car, finishing out his run there. That's definitely going to be quite a strong score on the board for himself, I'd say, Mike.
Yeah, well, Callum Coogan more used to driving his own E36 naturally aspirated. Well, this car is Halferty's old car, is in 3 naturally aspirated. Coogan's own car significantly less horsepower, so he'll be happy driving the wagon as we wait for that score to drop in.
That's for sure, Mike. We get that score now in a moment. As one of the biggest smiles on the grid, it's Kieran Lynch, another man from County Cork.
Oh.
Look at this line from Kieran Lynch, right out to the edge, looking very strong. He's definitely going to have a big smile after this one. Just too much.
Yeah,
I think he did damage there to the back left wheel, Mike. It looks quite brought in.
Yeah, I thought he came in quite hot there. Really great entry, the best entry we've seen so far here in Pro2 competition. But yeah, just he probably knew that he was on a heater, and the red mist descended, and Kieran said, right, I'm going to put in a 100-point lead here, and maybe just caught a couple of marbles right on the edge of the track there as he made his way into 3 and caught the lack of grip, and it just sucked him into the tyre wall.
Such a shame. We were looking so strong. A round of applause for Kieran Lynch out there on track, sending it full send, literally, into those tyres. Trying to put down his best run, but hopefully he'll be back out for a second qualifying run and repeat what he done between 1 and 2, but tidy himself up on 3.
Yeah, the Cork native currently living in Carricknavar in Cork, and was at Group D there last week trying to sell me his FCRX7 convertible, trying to take my money off me. And
did you buy it?
I didn't.
Ah, you're no fun.
I'd be tempted, but it's got a rotary. I swore I'd never get one of those, so yeah, we'll see. But Kieran Lynch, yeah, trying to get my money off me. But he's going to need some now to repair the back of his car, unfortunately, after that. Not sure if he's got suspension damage on the rear left, but we are seeing a little bit of maybe a call from the marshals here to get recovery. Are we? No, we're not. It's moving under its own. Let's have a look.
Yeah, he was just making sure there's no yellow 180 bits around the track there that he wants to reback.
Not sure if just the quarter panel is sticking out, but it does look like that wheel is not. Yeah, that rear wheel is not pointing in the correct direction as he loses some of his remaining bodywork. So Kieran Lynch will be looking for some, possibly some camber and toe arms or something like that in the pits there, I would say, for an S chassis. Another man currently developing another chassis with a 2JZ. And as we see the Lawnmower Racing World Championships going to take place here. Practice currently underway. Number 95 here setting a record time, having to be scurried along by the boss on the back of the marshal's bib there. So that lady must be the boss.
What happened to the drifting? I just went and walked away for 2 seconds, and now we're going to cutting grass.
We're cutting grass, exactly. But we did see these in action earlier on in literally these things get sideways as well. And
They
they're
look hilarious.
they're
I was
quite
watching
quick.
one, I was watching one of the lads. He was like he was riding a horse the way he was driving it.
Yeah, they were hanging off the
Hanging
side
on,
of it.
yeah, crazy stuff.
They're at the mid-entrim 150 up the road this weekend, hanging off the side of the bike. But they are quite fast, so we'll have a bit of that later on. And we go back to the line once the track is sorted, and it is Nathan Corcoran, the Carlow man, with an 800 brake horsepower, 2JZ powered E46, which he regularly loans to pro competitors should their own car break down. Sounds like he's geared a bit short there, but he does make it work. Hitting the limiter quite hard on initiation there, but very, very good outer zone 3 here from Nathan Corcoran. Can he make it work? Puts his heart and soul into this sport. Sometimes it works out for him, sometimes it doesn't. Once again, doing the little handbrake drag, skirts on the edge of 5 as a result, and gets the transition done. Billowing smoke out the back of the big E46 and across the line.
Do you know, Mike, you said he put his heart and soul into this sport, and that is for true. He put his heart and soul into that run as well, and it was a very solid run as well. Maybe it could have been a bit deeper into a few of the zones, but definitely going to get a strong score on the board for himself, and he sure does. It's an 87.7 for the Carlow man, Nathan Corcoran.
Yeah, delighted for him. He'll be really happy with that because, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out for him and he really takes it to heart. So he'll be very, very happy with that score, which should see him in for battle action later on. And we go back to the line to one of the limit style drift guys. It is Dale McBreen airing out his car as we see Stricken Kieran Lynch for a second. Once again, guys, welcome to BDD, Bishopscourt, Diff and Drift, Northern Ireland's home of drifting, here at the Irish Drift Series Round 3 Semi-Pro, or Pro2 as we call it these days, qualification, and we are gridding the cars for top 32 battle action, which will be taking place, I believe, this evening at 3 p.m. Irish time.
That's for sure, Mike. And while we have this quick moment, may as well give a quick shout out to one of our usual staff members that would usually be here, but unfortunately not making this weekend. Babs, who sat at home watching in, stuck listening to us now for today.
Yeah, Babs will be watching this one, glued to it. Of course, we all love the Pro2 competition because it does throw up always a lot of thrills and spills, and you get to see quite a mismatch of cars and horsepowers and experience levels. You've got some guys in Pro2 that are there with literally with 7-8 years. You've got an awful lot of other guys who are literally just starting their drift career, so their first season, and it's always interesting. But Dale McBreen is one of the more experienced competitors, the Cavan man with 500 brake horsepower under the bonnet. Look at the style of this car. Let's see if he can match it with his driving style. And the 180SX, yeah, really nicely on the wall, gets the car rotated in. Maybe could have got on the throttle just a quarter second earlier to stay on the outside, but overall, really nice idea.
That's for sure, Mike. Maybe a small bit short on the ratio here, as we can hear him absolutely baiting it off the limiter here, but flicks back on for zone 6 here now. Dale McBreen looking very solid, lots of style, lots of power, lots of everything you needed fluidity throughout that run. That was a great first qualifying run.
Yeah, of course, the judges looking for on certain parts of the track for big angle as well, and they're always looking for fluidity between the transitions and between the zones, as well as obviously completely filling the zones of the track. So it's not enough to just fill those zones, you have to do it with as much style and as much aggression as possible. So 83 for Dale McBreen. Impressing the judges to a point. Now Alan Connaughty, his teammate, has just left the line, looking super cool on our graphic here in the Zinky S14, the 11-0 car, firing it in onto the outside zone here in Bishopscourt, firing the smoke up on the spectators there on the right hand side, and doing exactly what the judges want to see. Not a lot of angle through 4, and then dialing it into that outside line in 5. Lovely transition now into 6. Once again, doing nothing too crazy here, Adam, just dialing on the angle at the end, not taking any chances, putting in a really safe first qualifying run and across the line.
I wonder if he's wearing the sunglasses in the car while he died for some reason.
Probably, yeah.
Surely, he
cool.
looked very cool and collected throughout that run, because he got a cool and collected score. It's 89.3 for Alan Conti. He's going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, he'll be really, really happy. Dropping him into second position there, guys, right behind Niall Looney, who is still leading qualifying here for the first run of the Pro2 Championship. Now, the very local man from Castlewellan, it is Peter Malloy. No worries with the Malloy brothers, they're pretty much always online, but commentators, of course, Peter Malloy's not online there. He misses zone 2 there, Adam.
That's for sure, Mike. I was watching him throughout practice yesterday. His first practice run, he came out here not holding back one single bit. He was straight up onto the door of the lead driver that was leading him throughout that run, and he is very determined to take a top spot on the podium this weekend. Peter Malloy, one of the 2 Malloy brothers, putting down his first qualifying run. Missing zone 2 there. It's not what we're used to seeing from him.
No, but I mean, It is a very technical circuit here, and it's quite hard to get the entry absolutely perfect. Peter there maybe just scrubbing off a little bit too much speed on the way in and catching grip, and it's a 79.3. It's pretty much the maximum that you can score when completely missing a zone like that. So we go back to the start line, the Red Bull ring, and it is Tom Hayden, the Pro 2 competitor, leading the line.
That's for sure. In his beautiful 180 SX lead coming down now over the hill here, 500 brake horsepower. Look at the angle here in the zone 3. Does he hit the tires? No, he just about saves himself there. Was sacrificing the second half of zone 3. Getting back out there now for 4 and into 5. Dragging a little dab and a handbrake is what it was from Tom Hayden. Wide now before he flicks it in for zone 6. Second half of that run looking a lot better. Zone 3 really messing him up there.
Yeah, well, the judges not wanting to see a lot of handbrake use. We saw in briefing this morning that a flick entry without a use of handbrake is a 0-point deduction, but if you do use excessive handbrake, they will deduct you. But it's an 84.7 despite the mistakes there from Tom Hayden. So the judge is not seeing a lot wrong with that zone 3 situation there.
As we move back to the line, Mike, it is another man from County Kerry. It is no other than Kieran O'Dwyer, who's been having a few issues with his own new car, Saab powered, having gearbox issues, for correct in saying. Well, no, sorry, turbo issues is what it was, but back out now in his V8 E46. Said he's feeling very comfortable in his car trail practice this morning as well for himself. Not as much power as he has in other car, 275 in this V8, and it looks like it's just enough to get him across the line here and fill every single zone the way it's meant to done.
Yeah, in his old car, unfortunately, Kieran not getting a chance there to get out in his new Saab powered B234 powered E46, but getting out in the old V8 powered one, the UZ power, doing a good job for him, and it's an 84. They transported that car up last night after the other car failed, so a good run there from the Cayman in County Limerick.
I seen you googling it. And it's Abbeyfield's my hometown, and I'm here saying Ates in Kerry. Yeah. I apologise. I saw Kieran. I'm used to seeing him in 360. I saw it. I said the word Kieran. I apologise. A Limerick man. Limerick City.
You're very close to the border there.
I know. Just cross the river. Just cross the river. Should we don't know where we're from? We could be Cork as well.
We could be Cork as well, boy. Exactly. So Kieran O'Dwyer will be happy with an 84, dropping him way up the order into 9th position. The cutoff currently is 55.7. That will rise dramatically as we go up through the qualifying order here, of course, at IDS Pro 2 Round 3. And just waiting to get a car to the start line. It's been all action so far. And Alex Williams is the driver who has popped up on the graphic and is on our sheet. Not sure why he's not at the line, but he is warming tyres now.
That's for sure. Mike, maybe a driver having a mechanical there at the right, I'm unsure. But while we have the opportunity here, we may as well give a shout out to the people that make this series possible, our sponsors. So a huge shout out to our 2 title sponsors, Lucky Day Competitions and Red Bull Energy, as well as all our other sponsors who are none the least very much supporting this championship. Kenda Tires, Drift Mafia, who actually have a stall here today as well, we can go check loads of car parts. Strong Wheels, which you see loads of our drivers running and looking very stylish with. GMD Tires, Yugen Factory, the producers of our trophies for this weekend. Group D, Turn Tire Distribution Service Centre, Max Flow, Exemplar by one of our drivers, Luke Talley, perfect man if you ever need some very reliable car parking up in Dublin Airport, as well as Exact Science and Lexi Brake, all making this very possible for us here. But we're back to the line now with some action. Alex Williams coming over the line here, the man coming over the water from Devon in the UK, getting through zones 1 and 2. Very stylish car, probably one of the most nice looking liveries out there on track, and he's making an absolute hames of this. He takes the back bumper off that car, put it right up against the wall here now. Back for zone 4 and transitions into zone 5. Alex Williams looking quite strong here. 600 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car, and he's using every one of them ponies to his advantage. Very strong run there from Alex Williams.
Yeah, it's a long spin from Devon. That is Martin Wanacott country down there, and the guys at home, JDM Garage and all those guys down the very, very southwest of England there. So a long spin for Alex Williams to come up here to Northern Ireland and compete with us, and he is rewarded for that long spin. It's an 84 for the Devon man, and that drops him into 10th position, which should see him good for battle action later on this afternoon. And we go back to the line, and it is Pro 2 driver Stuart Gordon rocking the beard, very Irish looking.
Very Irish looking.
And yeah, the 40-year-old from Antrim, 480 brake horsepower under the bonnet in his very, very iconic R32 Skyline. Flicks it left, flicks it right, and gets into our Bishopscourt track here. Flicks 1 and 2 perfectly there, Adam.
Absolutely. I was just about to applaud his entry there, Mike, as he used minimum handbrake while still getting on lots of angle through zones 1 and 2. 480 brake horsepower. That might be the magic number for this track. Maybe not through zone 5 there, struggling just a small, but getting in there, all right, getting the zone onto his score and crosses the line. Just go back to his entry there as well. Flicks left, flicks right, flicks back left and on to drift. Lovely stuff there from Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, really nice entry there. The drivers in the lead position and in qualifying are allowed pretty much you know, to do what they want in terms of entry once they don't mangy all the way down the straight, and it's an 82.7 for Stuart Gordon. And that is a respectable score for the entry man. As we go back to the line, it is young Ryan Nally who has been battling mechanicals in this car and you know, doesn't quite get the run sometimes with this car. It's just been battling himself and his dad John since they built it a couple of years back, but looking like a reliable car here. He entered very early there, Adam, and kind of sacrificed zone 1 as a result. Not the lap that Ryan Nally will be wanting so far.
That's for sure. Definitely a few sacrifices to get back on line and where he needs to be. But the second half of this run looking quite stronger from Ryan Nally. If I'm correct, someone saying as well, that chassis, not the engine, that car just in general, is probably one of the longest running cars in Irish competitive drifting, if I'm sure I'm saying. I remember seeing in one of my notes before. But it's a score on the board for young Ryan Nally. It's 70.7 for the 22-year-old from West Meath.
Looking very professional there in the Tillotson suit on the graphic, and we move it along. We are in reverse championship order, guys. If you have just joined us here for IDS round 3 Pro 2 qualification, it is Francis Hines, the Galway man, sending in his Sill 80 down the hill here in Bishopscourt, the disused airfield, and the classic SR20 powered S13 combination here out on track. Let's see what it can do.
That's for sure. Sounds absolutely outstanding as we can hear him hit the limiter and crossing the tower here, getting into zone 5. Francie Hines looking very strong now throughout this run. A driver that I keep an eye on quite a lot because he can always just throw it out of the bag and give you an unreal run, or else some days he may just go flying off track, you never know. But Francie Hines, what's his score going to be on his first qualifying run? 400 brake horsepower under the bonnet of that car powered by an SR. It's 83.3 for Francie Hines in his first run. He'll be quite happy with that one.
Yeah, so we're starting to see a lot of scores now in the low mid-80s dropping in, and that is kind of what you see in certain tracks. You know, the scores will bunch up around maybe mid to late 70s or early to mid 80s, and it seems to be the early to mid 80s for this one. As we go back to the start line, leaving the Red Bull ring, it is Ronan Doherty flicking in the S13.
Ronan Doherty in at the S13 looking absolutely very much like just a pure drift missile, and that's exactly what he's doing with it, using it like a missile. He puts it right out to the edge of zone 3 there. Ronan Doherty trying to use every inch of this track, keeping it nice and wide, so he is, Mike, trying to get every bit of a point on the board for himself. 450 brake horsepower looks like it's just enough to get him across the line from County Mayo.
Yeah, like you said, you know, full commitment there, and definitely sounding like he was a little bit short geared. Quite a lot of red limiter going on, but it worked out for the Mayo man there. It is a 79 for Ronan Doherty, dropping him kind of in the danger zone there on 20 seconds so far, so he'll have to improve. I think that's going to be the drop zone later on. We move it back to Andrew Kinna, the Kildare man behind the DRT Automotive, sponsored by Gary Dunn there on the door. The man behind ECU Master Ireland as well. Lovely on the ball there, the 2JZ powered IS 300 stroke Altezza.
Sure is a very popular chassis. You'll see lots of them over in the diffing area here today. Andrew Kenna looking lovely here through zone 5, nearly getting off the wall there, hitting the rear end of that IS 300, 200 Altezza, whatever we want to call it, and crosses the line.
Yeah, technically good run there from Andrew. I think he'll be pretty happy with it. A couple of points left on the board maybe for fluidity and just overall technicality, but I think overall it's going to be a very respectable score, and it is, guys. Andrew Kinna tops qualifying with a score of 94.7. Full commitment there, judges liking the impact of that run, and it's a big score there now for the Kildare man, who sits on top. He'll be delighted with that. We go down to the Cork man online. It is Marcus Heinen, the man from Ballincollig, one of the up-and-coming drivers.
Up-and-coming for sure, Mike. He's another man that could take the top spot. We'll have to see. Look at this from Marcus Heinen now. absolutely fluid and on the line, dialed in to the max by Max Simon here. Loads of smoke out of back up that PS13, 520 brake horsepower, and he's using every bit of it. A bit of a struggle there and stumble on zone 5, but flicks it back now for zone 6, correcting himself again exactly on the line. Apart from zone 5 there, he looks so strong.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers struggling a little bit with zone 5 because we've seen a couple of drivers earlier get completely off track there, and I think everybody's a little bit conscious of that. So for the first qualifying run, they're taking quite easy, not making mistakes, and it's an 89 for Marcus Heinen, dropping him way up the order into fourth. Yeah, fourth position for the Ballincollig man. Well, the man from Tower actually in Cork, but working in Ballincollig there at Village Tyres with his dad Marcus. Now we go back to the line. Clark Captain has texted me and he doesn't have a clutch, and his clutch is slipping. So not only does he not really have a clutch, the clutch that's in the car is slipping, and yeah, he's very slow off the line here. So he can't really handbrake the car because he's got no clutch to press when he handbrakes it. So I think he would have just rammed this into gear. And the man just north of Belfast, pretty local man as well here, struggling extremely hard here with the M2 BMW with 2JZ power.
You say about having no clutch there, Mike, not being able to handbrake, you can really see that there, especially up around zone 3. You can see actually smoke coming up from the front wheels of the car, jamming his foot on that left foot brake to make sure he doesn't end up in that tyre belt. Not what Clark Canton we're used to seeing of him,
no,
definitely not what he wanted, but hopefully he can get a start for a second qualifying run.
Well, I mean, the fact that he got a score at all is really good there, just a 40 there for the Antrim man, but yeah, it's not the score he'll have wanted, obviously, or the score we know he's capable of. But, you know, that is the drifting, and hopefully they can get that clutch sorted, but it's not a long time to get a clutch sorted in a 2J. Owen Foran from Kerry, the Pro2 rookie drivers leaving the line.
That's for sure, Mike. This man has surprised me so much, knowing him personally from being down in Kerry as well, seeing him a lot at the track. Since he's got this 180, an ex-Candy Culture car, he's looked so strong, and oh, I've ruined it for Owen Foran, but he's not giving up. He's finishing out his run, taking a few tyres off the bail, but he's going to finish it out. Owen Foran looking a lot better now in the second half of this run. Zone 3 is just going to be that issue for him, too deep in there. Crossing the line, Owen Foran taking a podium on the rookie championship from Craigson, saying back in Watergrass Hill.
Yeah, correct.
He's really starting to show his true colours and the talent he has once he has the right car underneath him.
Yeah, well, he's well up there in the Pro2 Championship. Again, we are in reverse order, so Owen Foran doing a good job, but only 48.7 there, so not a great score for the Kerry man on the first one. He's got it all to do in the second one, the rookie driver. Now we move back to the Red Bull ring, and it is Erikas Nevitskas. Navikas, in fact. Always a running joke here how to pronounce Erikas' second name, but the Kildare man residing in Naas currently doing a nice job in the 46. Very tidy driver overall, Adam. You know, never it's kind of like James Dean can never get your heart racing, and the fact that you think that he's going to do anything silly, he's always quite reliable and quite there.
Reliable is exactly the word to say so, and that car looks very reliable for him as well, as we always see him out on track, looking very stylish. Street style on his ego-driven E46, so yeah, it is...
Turbo BMW power.
Yeah, that car looks like the perfect key, perfect match. Well looked after as well by Erikas Nevitskas, and a well looked after run as well. 83 on the board for himself. He's going to be quite happy with that as his first run. Looking at the scoreboard already after having, I don't know how many drivers in total we've had so far, Mike, but in 32nd place we have Chris McConnell at 69.3, so we can see these scores already starting to rack up, and as the second qualifying one comes in, I'm predicting around the 83 mark is going to be the drop zone.
Yeah, I would say you're going to be pretty close with that. Yeah, I would say maybe a little bit lower, but it's going to be a high cut-off here for Pro2 competition guys in Ireland, as we've come to expect, and a man who will be looking to be well up there in qualifying. He's well up in the championship, as you can see from the order that he is in. It is Bartek Leszczycki, the young man from County Monaghan, son, of course, of Magic.
That's for sure, Mike. One of our sponsors as well, Drift Mafia, on the side of his car. His father running that business, a very good business as well, supplying all drift parts and pieces that we need for these kind of cars that are out on track. And look at this from Bartek Bujenski, if I pronounce that right, I hope so. Looking very strong, always dialed in. So he is this young man, only 18 years of age, 300 brake horsepower, but he drives it like there's 3,000 because he gives it a full send, so dialed in all the time. He looks very dialed in here. Could this top qualifying, Mike? Bartek looking very good here now as he transitions on for zone 6, right out to the edge of the track from County Monaghan. Bartek, give him a round of applause. That's lovely stuff.
Yeah, just 300 brake horsepower there under the bonnet for Bartek Bujenski. And he's using all of those 300 to do a really, really good job here in qualifying. Technically quite gifted driver, always liking his angle and his attack for the course, and he's rewarded here, guys, with 300 brake horsepower. Bartek Bujenski was second place in qualifying with a 90.7. What a run.
Incredible stuff. We're going to be seeing lots more of him as time goes on. I can't wait to see until he gets more power under that right foot, because he's going to be a dangerous man in competition. Speaking of another dangerous man, it's another young man from County Kerry, and I'm sure I'm saying Kerry this time. It's Jack Mulvihill back in his main competition car, that S15, looking very stylish, always kept lovely. And look at this lovely run so far, right out to the edge of the track by Jack Mulvihill, making the big trip up here to County Down, and it looks like it'll be well worth it. Dropping tyres there on zone 3, but gets back on the line, lovely and wide through every zone here. Loads of smoke from them street tyres by Jack Mulvihill. Dabs the handbrake there into zone 5 as we nearly lose him there, back into zone 6 now. And look at that from the young man. He's an incredible talent. I'm seeing lots and lots more of. We've seen him doing battle action or tandem action with James and stuff down on practice days with Kerry.
Yeah, great run there from the 16-year-old, guys. The junior driver goes into first place in qualifying. Jack Mulvihill scores a 95.7. Big investment there in the car from his dad Jim, putting in a Bulldog quick change diff and a DMA sequential gearbox from ourselves in Group D, because basically coming from sim drifting, he was breaking everything, and the only way to stop him breaking stuff was to give him the big sequential and the big quick change back in.
That's for sure. No back to pits button there, and hopefully a man now that won't need a back to pits button in that stunning, my favourite looking car in the grid, Andrew Malloy, the second of the Malloy brothers, out here sitting quite high in the Pro2 Championship already. 330 brake horsepower in that car, but he knows how to use every single one of them ponies to his advantage here as we see him fulfill zone 3 flawlessly now and into zone 4 as we can hear that BMW powered BMW, which is rare to see. Usually we see a bit of Japanese power in these BMWs. Sounding so well past the tower here and crossing the line, Andrew Malloy.
Yeah, pretty much 25 minutes from the track these guys are roughly. So Andrew Malloy, no stranger here to Bishopscourt, and as you said, had a great looking car, always a really, really lovely line from either one of the Malloys. Andrew looking good here with a score of 92, so lots of scores in the 90s, dropping in 5 so far. Andrew going into 3rd position, so it's Jack Mulvihill, Andrew Kinna, Andrew Malloy's your top 3. Now leaving the line, it is Jack Kelly in the big 4-door chaser.
That's for sure.
Mark 2, in fact.
That's for sure, Mike. This man used to use this car as his road car, but now making it strictly on the track. Technically still might be a roadworthy there. Such a long car there, as you said, Mike, touching the tyres. There's so much of this car to get around that track, but he's doing so. Putting the back bumper technically up against the wall, even though it's falling off the car, but he's getting around now through zone 5 and into 6. Crossing the line, Jack Kelly.
Yeah, well, what I've noticed so far, the judges have not been really penalising for going off at 3, and they have been rewarding aggression. So yeah, Jack Kelly scoring a 78 there despite the mistake. It's a 78 there for the man from County Loud in the big JZX 90 Mark II 4-door. And yeah, judges rewarding aggression here. We move it back to the line to Clint McKillen's tricolour S13. Let's see what he can do in the very distinctive green to yellow to pink livered Nissan.
That's for sure. The man coming up from County Wicklow now. We buy cars. 180 SX getting through zones 1 and 2 here now. Hitting off the limiter and getting into zone 3.
Yeah, really nice outside line here from Glenn so far. Maybe comes away a little bit early there from 3, but picks up 4 there. Whole lot of zone 4 picked up their full points from the judges for that. Gets nicely into 5. Fills all of 5. Could be a couple of feet further wide, but overall really nice line here. And we are getting critical at this stage, guys, because these are the top championship guys. These are the guys who we want to see really dropping into big scores. Once again, guys, remember, road tyres are the tyre that you have to be on here. It has to be a street legal tyre. Semi-slicks not permitted in Irish Pro2 Championship. So it is an 80 for Glenn McKillen, and all these guys on 265 wide maximum with street tyres here. The High Fly being the tyre of choice at the moment, I believe.
That's for sure, Mike. We see another man coming up here. We see quite a lot out on track and looking very strong. It's Niall McInerney in his BMW E36, making that engine completely roar for help, trying to get his way into zone 3, 440 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car. That man coming up from County Clare and making that work for himself. As we can hear pops and bangs past the tower here, just rubbing the rear end of that off the wall there on zones 5 now and getting back in for zone 6. Nearly dropping a tyre there.
Yeah, but Niall McInerney coming on every round that we see him, brother of course of Jason McInerney, the pro competitor, who is making great strides up towards the top of the Pro Championship at the moment. Niall investing in the car, some BC Racing coilovers got in this year and stuff. Looking like it's ending pretty well for him, and it's a score of 79 for the Clare men, dropping him kind of into the lower section of qualification there in 30th position. So you know what, I think he's going to have to improve, Eddie. Or Eddie, you're not Eddie, you're Adam.
Mike, we've been through this. Like calling your ex-girlfriend's name to your new
Exactly.
girlfriend.
So used to saying Eddie. I flit from Poland
That's right.
to Ireland.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be called Eddie Power. Not much is power in the tower, but
Adam in the tower.
yeah, there's power down the track now. You've got to see young Jamie Hines, second year competing, 17 years of age, a huge character. And look at this, stole the last fish and chips in Ardgrass last night, so he did, making us go to a Chinese, but it was well worth it. Jamie Hines out on track, looking flawless. Look at this from Jamie Hines, 17 years of age, but he's driving like he's 17 years, experience, 430 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that S15, and it's exactly what he needs. Incredible stuff. Round of applause for the young Jamie Hines.
What a run. And the only question I have here, is this going to be Jack Mulvihill? Is this going to be the battle of the young guns here this weekend? 17 years of age, young Jamie Hines, just 430 brake horsepower under the bonnet. And it's just an 87. I thought it looked better than that actually myself. Now it looked really exciting, but the judges may be seeing something that we didn't there.
He
Adam.
stole the last fish and chips in Ardgrass last night. Tom is sour over it.
That is it.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're going back to the line now. It's David Ford in the self-sponsored 4D Autos. Skyline looking very stylish, a bright looking car, getting loads of practice yesterday for himself. He's working on a solo team this weekend. It's just himself and the family trying to do all the work himself. And a few issues with the car as well, from Craigson saying breaking his shaft, but looks like he's got that all sorted on his last qualifying or last practice run yesterday. Looking a lot stronger here now. Listen to the growl out of that car. It sounds incredible.
Yeah, the man coming second, then Montana on round one there with a big charge in the first round. David Ford with V8 turbo power there. UZ turbo power with a Chinese eBay turbo that cost I think €200 roughly.
There's a correct term for that. It's like Wuhan Warrior.
The Wuhan Warrior, exactly. So it's an 83.7 for David Ford, who's currently sitting way up in the championship, third last to go here. So we're really at the pointy end now here, guys. It is David Ford just after running, and then of course it is Jake McElveen and Dylan Wilson left to run, and these are the top guys in the championship.
That's for sure, Mike. Well, you're forgetting about Justin Murphy as well, another top Pro 2 driver. Not in our sheet, so I won't give out to you. Justin Murphy, top.
But not here this weekend. Is he? Oh, right, he's not in our sheet.
We're going to go back to the line as we'll chat about that soon. It's Jake McElveen here. This driver is one that's really standing out, especially in Watergrass Hill. Looking incredible. Even when he went up to the pros, he looked like he could put it up to him, no bother at all. Will he get that pro license this year? I'd say he might just do so, Mike. Look at him right on the edge of the track through each and every zone he's gone through now, and he gets into zone 4, getting full points for that. So he has lots of smoke coming out of the back of this car as he uses high wheel speed to burn the rubber off the back end, knocking that cone on zone 6 there. Jake McElveen finishing out his first qualifying run. One of our youngest drivers as well, only 18 years of age. He's from County Down as well, so not too far for him to travel, so he's well rested for this weekend. What's his score going to be on his first run? It's an 87.3 for Jake McElveen. Couldn't expect any less, but we could expect more from him.
Yeah, 10th position so far for Jake. He'd be relatively happy with that. I think he's got more in him, and let's see what he can do in the second run. He should be good for qualification as we go on to second place man in the championship. It is the one and only in the turkey fighter. It is the dairy man, Dylan Wilson. let's see what he can do.
That's for sure, Mike. This man's going to feel very comfortable here this weekend, considering it is an airfield. And if you saw Watergrass Hill, this man took flight over another person's car, so he's going to be very comfortable here. Hopefully he doesn't take flight today. Look at the angle from Dylan Wilson in turkey fire here. The fake Eurofighter, as we say, getting into zone 3, rubbing the back end of that car off the wall absolutely flawlessly. Nearly touching the tyre off it. There's going to be big points for Dylan Wilson here.
Yeah, just taking the spoiler off the wall there as he entered 3. He's pretty much perfect on the outside of 5 there. Gets the car nicely on the inside and rotates it perfectly back around and crosses the line through 6. Really nice run there from the Derryman. And Dylan Wilson, I was just speaking about him earlier on with one of the guys, and this guy should be pro. He's a pro driver all day long, and I think, you know, after this season he's going to definitely make the step up. And it's a 91.7 for Dylan Wilson with a big run there, dropping him into 4th position. Knocking Bartek Blazjetski down to 5th. So we do have Justin Murphy, wasn't on our sheet here, my apologies, but the top man in the championship, the man all the way up from County Kildare, right alongside Mondello Park, is on the line with Jay-Z Power under the bonnet of his E36, and he is ready to rock here at Bishopscourt for round 3 of the Irish Drift Series Pro 2 Championship. Let's see what he can do. He's top in the championship here. He's the last man to run before we turn around and do it all again here, Adam. Does he have enough to top qualifying? I don't know. Jack Mulvihill's run had a huge score. Justin Murphy is more of a battle driver. He usually sneaks in the middle of qualifying, but let's see what he can do.
That's for sure, Mike. I don't know what he was fed throughout the off-season, because this year he's came back with massive determination. He has that car dialed into a T, and he looks very comfortable in it here. Bit shallow on zone 3 now though from Justin Murphy, as you said, very strong in the battles. That's where he really does shine through, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on today. Is it going to be a strong enough score to see him high up on the board of the battle list? We're going to have to find out here now. Justin Murphy crosses the line on his first qualifying run.
Yeah, not a bad run at all there from the Kildare man, but it's not going to be, definitely not going to be enough to topple Jack Mulvihill. But it is enough to qualify later on, and it is an 87 for Justin Murphy, putting him into joint 12th position with Ross Patterson and JB Hines. So guys, currently the cutoff is 79.3. Jason Gallagher and Peter Malloy sitting both on 79.3. That's all going to change. We're going to start again. We're going to go back to the start, reverse championship order, and we're going to run them all one more time. And at the end of that, we will have sorted our top 32 qualifiers of 65 starters here at IDS Pro 2 round 3.
That's for sure, Mike. Looking at the drop zone right now at this present moment, it's 79.3 held by Jason Gallagher. So he's going to be on the edge of his seat and have a lot of pressure on him on his second qualifying run now, as well as we are about just to kick off with Taylor Broggy, the rookie driver, on his second qualifying run here now. 65.7 on the board for himself already. We've seen cars with 700-800 brake horsepower out there, but this car only has 230 brake horsepower from County Down. So maybe he gets the advantage on, maybe he got a good sleep last night, but is that going to be enough to give it a good qualifying score? I don't know.
Well, all these rookie drivers, we will have their podium later on, as well as the juniors. Of course, the rookie drivers are drivers who have competed in IDS for the first time, or drivers who have competed previously but never qualified for a twin battle. So bear that in mind, guys. They are the guys we will be telling you who is a rookie, and this is a rookie, Taylor Broggy. First car out in qualifying, never an easy task, and not an easy task here with these long sections in between corners here in Bishopscourt with just 230 brake horsepower. But he's making it work here. He's using the little bit of momentum, feathering the throttle, clutch kicking when needed. And you know what, Adam? This is a tidy lap. He's actually making this work.
He sure is, Mike. Is he going to see himself in the battle action?
Wow.
I think it might just be enough. Very good stuff there from Taylor Broggy, the rookie driver.
Yeah, really nice line there from Taylor. Not the fastest run, not the one with the most impact that we've seen, definitely, but overall very, very tidy and pretty much on line. Let's see what the judges think of it. Will the impact hurt them? It's a 75 for Taylor Broggy, which will see him way up there in the rookies. Is it enough to qualify? No, it's outside of the top 32, so that won't be battle action for Taylor Broggy, but he is a rookie driver, so we will see him hopefully on the podium, possibly for the rookies later. We will see. Now PJ Caffrey is leaving the line, 67 on the board for the rookie driver on the first run. He has to improve if he wants to see battle action. Big waiver there, rear of the car catching grip for a second, and a big mistake in the eyes of the judges, I think, already.
I'd say so, Mike. Definitely losing quite a few points there on board for himself, PJ Caffrey. 67 on board already. I don't know, will it be an improvement on this? Oh, missing zone 5 now as well. Quite a sketchy one there for himself. Looking strong throughout qualifying, but just not putting it down when it needs to be done throughout qualifying.
Yeah, sounds like, I'm not sure if we can get the notes on him there, but 440 horsepower sounds like an SR20 to me with external wastegate, but it's a 74.7. He does improve, actually, Adam, to be fair. 74.7, not enough for top 32 action. Tough to qualify here in Pro 2, but he is a rookie driver. Another rookie driver is Edgar's Crummins leaving the line.
It sure is. Edgar Crummins in his E46, 72.3 on the board. We thought that might just be enough earlier on, but it's not now. It's going to be enough for this second run as he dabs the handbrake, puts loads of angle on there on zone 3, trying to fill every zone, do what the judges want to do, but see, making that issue that I've seen a lot of drivers do, coming too early out of 3, missing zone 4 there for himself then. Very much on the inside of the tracks. He flicks it now for zone 6, crossing the line. There's such a high standard in the Pro 2 Championship. It's crazy stuff. Is it going to be enough for himself?
The judges don't want to see your front wheel pretty much hugging the line. They want to see you just in that section, maybe over just to the third right-hand side of the track between 5 and 6 as you just before you transition. So a little bit tight there.
Yeah, 69.7 on the board for himself. To move on to our next drivers now is Maximus.
Yeah, it is Maximus Bagutsis with a 66.7, sorry, on the first run. The Pro 2 driver outright. Not in the rookie class, just so a Pro 2 driver outright in the beautiful E92 BMW. Great looking car, Adam, as well.
Very luxurious looking, so it is, Mike. Can he put down a luxurious score for himself? Though here he's looking a lot more stronger than his first run. Maximus crossed the line with lots of angles. 66.7 on the board. What's his second score going to be?
Wait for the judges to drop it in. 3 judges, of course, if you've just joined us. Tomas Falvey, Tom Murphy, and the Godfather, Kieran Hines, and it's an 86.7 from those 3 guys. And it's a big score for Maximus. He's way back in the championship, of course, just maybe starting off his career in Ireland this weekend, and he's way up there in midfield, around 15th position, so he could be qualifying now. Yanis Drykis is a rookie driver, and he's a little bit on the inside of the track there, Adam, totally missing 1 and 2 there pretty much.
That's for sure. I didn't know we were allowed to take passenger spins, but I can see a little passenger in the back of his car there throughout his second run. A bit dodgy there, lots of handbrake, trying to send that car as hard as he can. I think he knows that he's not going to get into battle action at this point, but trying to do as best as he can. 360 across the line, a round of applause from I saw him yesterday throughout practice. He's a bit of crack. He's a good laugh. He's having fun. That's what you're here to do.
Exactly. That's what you are here to do, and he is indeed having fun. So Yanis scoring 61.7, not improving, and won't see battle action, but once again, he's a rookie driver and will score his own championship. Now on the line, it is Jedris Belkus.
I won't even try to pass the way you did.
Yidris.
Fluent.
I don't know.
Didn't know the Cork accent was so good at it.
That's probably all wrong, to be honest. But he's number 335. I don't think it's a 335 BMW, but it is 335 would be a good engine, but would be troublesome enough for this job. So probably not a 335 would be on it. But he is on an 80 currently, and he is just about in qualifying position here, sitting in joint 29th to 32nd, and it's a lovely entry here from Balkus, the self-sponsored G Balkus Engineering BMW. This is really nice, Adam. It's much better.
It sure is, Mike. 80 on the board, just on the edge of top 32 at the moment. Can he raise that score any much for himself to keep him in battle action? We're going to have to find out as he goes through zone 5 now, on the right line to transition into zone 6. Good. I don't even want to butcher his name, but he crossed the line.
Yeah, I think he was on for a really big score there, just with a little bit tentative as he entered 5, seemed to get on the anchors a bit, thought he was going to run off track maybe. Again, a couple of drivers have done that. He was on for a big score, but I think 5 is going to hurt him a little bit. But he does improve, guys. It's an 85.7 for the Derryman, and he moves way up into 17th position, so that will be a definite qualification, I would say, for him.
That's for sure, Mike. Quite a safe place to be on the board as well, be matched with someone quite relative to your own score as well. So you'd like to say on the same skill base as well. So hopefully things stay around that kind of area for him. As we move on to our next driver now, it is Another BMW E36. It is Devious Fedosovas. I've learned these names as well as you do, Mike, as he rubs it up against the rear end of that car, back up against the wall, through zone 4 and into 5. Dabs at a handbrake to keep it on angle and in drift. Lovely line here now from 5 to 6. Flicks it back, looking very fluid in the second half of that run.
Yeah, you touched on it there, Adam. Of course, the higher you qualify here as well, guys, the easier theoretical battle you will buy yourself in the top 32. If you qualify first, you face off against 32nd, second place, 31st, etc. And there are also championship points for qualifying. So if you win qualifying, you get 11 points. If you're second, you get 10, etc. And Davis scores a 77. Doesn't see him in battle action, but he is a rookie driver within his own championship. Now Ryan Quill with a 0 went into the tyre wall in the first run. This is a borrowed car, borrowed in 92 for the young Carlo men. And it's a little bit better. Oh, but once again goes into the tyre wall there, just struggling.
Must be a magnet or something.
Yeah, just struggling a little bit with this borrowed chassis, I think. But you know what? Yeah, a guy with a good future in the sport, really nice young man, and I know from talking to him, it means a lot to him, you know, this sport. Sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes that can be a bad thing, because for qualification you can tend to get into your own head and it means so much to you that you can kind of, the nerves can kind of work against you. So usually with a bit of experience and you know, a lot of qualifying under your belt, then that kind of starts to dissipate. So hopefully Ryan will get it together for the next round. He will not be qualifying for battle action in this round, the young rookie driver. And next up, it is Sean Bainbridge with a 56.3. The rookie driver currently not qualifying for top 32 action. Will be in his own championship again, but might not be in the Pro 2 action here unless he improves really dramatically, Adam.
That's for sure, Mike. As I said, having quite a few mechanical issues in the first 2 rounds, not making it as far as qualifying, but finally getting out there to compete today. That's what he wants. He wants to have fun. Bit of a straight in there before zone 3 though. Looking stronger in his first run though. Could it be a strong enough score to see him in the battle action? Would like to see so. Very nice lad outside the car, so hopefully he can do so for himself. A bit shallow there, missing zone 5. Maybe just getting into the start for him. Unsure transitions now for zone 6. He also mentioned to me earlier on as well, maybe it's time to get a new car. Could today be the deciding factor for him?
Well, a bit of horsepower never hurt anybody, to be honest, in the drifting once you can keep it reliable. But he does improve quite a lot here, Adam. It's a 79 for Shawnee B, dropping him just outside the top 32. So the rookie driver will be well up there in the rookie class, I would say, with that score. So keep an eye for him on the podium, the rookie podium later on. Thomas Ray is now leaving the line, the rookie driver on a 55.3 in the IS 250 V6.
That's for sure, Mike. I'm not too sure. Can he improve on that now? Missing zone 2, but getting into zone 3 where he needs to be. As I mentioned before, part of the Rashmen. These guys will be documenting their journey in Irish drifting and their first year competing. So you can see what it's like at home. These guys are great characters on the camera, outside the car, and in the car, as you can see him here, making Chewbacca absolutely scream across the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Chewbacca making all the noises there. Thomas Ray, Wild Ray, let's see what he can do in terms of score. And he is a rookie driver. It's a 69.3 for Thomas, so he'll score some points in his own championship. We won't see him for battle action later on. Ian Hamilton is another rookie driver on the line in the little Corolla that could, a couple of years ago, might not be able to today in the dry conditions, but let's see what the 20 valve 170 brake horsepower E86 can do.
That's for sure, Mike. 170 brake horsepower. We have cars in this side of the championship with 800 brakes, so there's a massive difference in contrast there. So there is, as we can hear, lots of clutch kicks around zone 3, trying to keep that car in drift, and all the power going to those rear wheels, keeping that diff locked by locking the handbrake there as well. Just a bit shallow on zone 5. This car much prefers the wet, so I must say, but Ian Hamilton is always so determined to get out here and have a bit of fun in it, showing up for every round.
Yeah, if you close your eyes, it could be Hibino over in Japan there, but minus about 170 horsepower as well. I think he had nitrous in his at the time, putting out crazy horsepower. But yeah, Ian Hamilton scores a 33, so needs some rain for the Corolla. So if we could organise that for the next round of qualifying for Ian, that'd be great. Connor Liddy leaves the line in the little MX-5, only MX-5 in competition in Ireland currently, with a 73.7 on the first run. The rookie driver will look to improve to try to get into battle action. And these MX-5s, they are very difficult at it, but they're very fast.
That is for sure, Mike. So fast, but you've got a lot of room for power to weight ratio here on this because it's such a small car, like a little go-kart. Look at the size of it compared to the likes of Halfort's wagon or something like that. It's tiny, but it's doing the job here. 73.7 on the board already for Conor Liddy. Is it going to be an improvement on that?
You know what? I think he's going to qualify, Adam. I think he's going to qualify that MX-5, the rookie driver from Antrim. I think he's done enough. Oh, it's an 80. Oh, he does. I mean, he's jumped into joint 30th position. And in the event of tight scores, guys, of course, we go back to the driver's second score as the tiebreaker. So Conor Liddy with a 73.3 on his first run. It's going to be a long wait for him, but we'll have to see how it works out. He's not safe, that's for sure.
Not safe for sure, Mike. Definitely going to be a sit on the edge kind of moment for him for the rest of today. But we're back to the line now. Is Jason Gallagher coming over the hill in his 180 SX, 79.3 on the board for himself. Not in the top 32 at the moment. Can he improve on that? Oh! Big bump off the back, off the wall there, just going into the tyres first.
Yeah, I think he's after getting away with it a little bit, Adam. It looks like the wheels are pretty much pointing in the right direction there. There's going to be some fabrication and body work, but I think his suspension isn't destroyed at least. The lovely, I believe they're strong wheels on the back there. Jason Gallagher just outside the top 32 as well. The Donegal men. The Marshall's just having a look to see if that is drivable. Most of the fuel cells, usually aluminium fuel cells, we don't have to have bladders here in Ireland. So fuel cells, it's very important to make sure that the skin of that cell isn't after moving along with the cage of the car there before the car is moved. Again, but no, looking all right. He's not happy. Well, maybe he's just giving the judges a little bit of a show, but Jason Gallagher knows that he's after costing himself a few quid, but I think that could have been much worse at him.
That's for sure, Mike. It's kind of like a clamshell on the back of that car there, as you can see. You said a bit of fabrication work and stuff might need to be done as well, but that's one thing very unique about these drift cars as well. It's not like your regular day-to-day road car for anyone that's not ever been up close and personal. The back end's usually just cut out of them, and it's a fiberglass rear end made for flexing up against these walls as well as being well easily repaired. As you can see here on the live stream, some real action now. There's a little man absolutely baiting around the place, cutting the grass, flat out cutting the grass. He's got mass to be out in 10 minutes now, but he's cutting the grass now. Then he's got to go to mass.
Yeah, he's on the way to mass. Absolutely. This is the peak of motorsport here, guys. It's just, this is the best thing you're ever going to see. And the drifting, whatever, it's all very good, but lawnmower racing is where it's at.
I'm just a big fan of the fact that Rad Don is on the screen right now while this is there. It looks like Rad Don's driving the tractor, to be honest. Or the lawnmower, should I say.
Absolutely, yeah. Red Don's graphic on screen as we watch the lawnmower racing is fantastic.
I wonder, could you do rings in them?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Some crack, I'd say. Imagine that in a muddy day.
Absolutely.
Be mighty, so it would. As we can see, Rad up on the line. Just going back for another opportunity to warm up his tyres. Our track marshals are down there tidying up the track after a bit of a mishap with Jason Gallagher. Rad putting down a very solid score for himself, looking quite safe at the moment. Actually, 85.3 on the board for himself, leaving him in 18th position. So theoretically he should be safe, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would definitely.
But can he get another high score on the board for himself to put him higher up? Theoretically, give him an easier battle then for the top 32.
Yeah, and some, like we said as well, some qualification points as well. So if you're in the top 10 positions, you get some extra championship points. Of course, there are 100 points for a event win, but you can score an extra 10 points in qualification. Everybody basically getting 1 point for qualifying, but you can score 11 points if you win qualifying, so an extra 10. So yeah, Red Don Burkett leaves the line looking to improve the Galway man in his E46, going a little bit shallow there and missing 2 as a result. And I think he's going to be under pressure all the way from here on to improve at him. But you know what? He's really good there as he enters 3. He's right on the wall, fills up the complete zone. Tiny bit of a waiver before the transition, but overall not too bad. He's right on the outside of 5 there as well as he enters the zone. Pretty much the right part of the track. As the car flicked back, rotated around, and not a perfect line across 6, but overall really good run there from Don after he navigated his way into 3, but I think missing out there on the second zone is going to hurt him a lot here.
That's for sure, Mike. He said, as I said yesterday, he much preferred having the rain, but looks quite comfortable in the dry today. 74 in the second qualifying run, no improvement for him, but as I said, looking safe in 18th position at the moment.
Yeah, looking pretty good there, and he's going to be delighted with that, getting in for battle action as we just get our next car warmed up. We'll run you through the top 10 so far here, guys. In 10th position is Nathan Corkin with an 87.7. Then it's Dave Flaherty with an 88. Marcus Heinen sits in 8th. Alan Connaughty is in 7th position. Niall Looney's in 6th. Bartek Blazjetski with a severe lack of horsepower sits on a 90.7. Dylan Wilson in the Turkey Fighters in a 91.7. Andrew Malloy, the local man, is on a 92. Andrew Kinna from DRT Automotive is on a 94.7. And young Jack Mulvihill from Kerry sits on a 95.7, currently topping qualifying here at IDS Pro2 round 3.
That's for sure, Mike. And just to make a little announcement as well, we're running a bit of a giveaway over on our social media for tomorrow, where you could win a passenger spin, some IDS merch, as well as a free ticket for the day for yourself as well. So we'll be choosing that winner live for you after our top 32. So make sure you're tuning in. It'll be announced on our social media as well. But your last opportunity is to enter that, so if you want to do so, head over to our Instagram or Facebook and you'll find it. But we're back to battle action now as Brendan Kearney comes down here into zone 1, into zone 2, taking the cone out of it on initiation. Bit sketchy on his line, but trying to tidy himself up here now as he goes through zone 3. Playing with the throttle there to manage himself and giving a full throttle now through zone 4 and into 5. Sketchy here from Brendan on his second one. 80 on the board already. The pressure might be getting to him. He's on the dropping zone.
Yeah, definitely can get into your head, Adam. As you said, if you know that you're on the drop zone, there's a lot at stake here. These cars are very expensive. The nights are long in the garage. Not uncommon to see guys up until 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. But you know what, Brendan Kearney, the Entraman does improve. It's an 86.3 for the man in the big skyline, putting him way up there into battle action, and that means that Connor Liddy, Stephen Willis, Glenn McKillen, all those guys on the 8 are now really there in the drop zone. And we go back to the line to Jan Reitler, who is currently not qualifying for battle action, but he is a rookie driver, so does have his own championship to contend with, but he wants to improve and get well above that score of 80, which is the cut-off point at the moment, in order to get into battle action. So just 240 horsepower here under the bonnet of the Corkman's car. Also, we are hearing that it was a wrong score. I thought it seemed a bit high, all right, so it was a wrong score there for Brendan Kearney. And we will bring you the right score. 68, yeah, I thought it sounded a bit high for the run as well, so didn't want to question anybody.
Never can, Mike.
They're my bosses. They're my bosses.
Yeah,
so
smile and wave, smile and wave.
Question, so 68.3. I thought it seemed a bit sus, all right, but yeah, didn't want to say the wrong thing there. So 68.3 for Brendan Kearney leaves him not in battle action. Well, he's in the drop zone. Let's see. So Jan Reitler, let's see what he can do. Flicks in the E90 BMW.
That's for sure, Mike. A lot more commitment from him this time. 67.7 on the board for himself. Not in battle action at the moment, but it looks like he might make his way there now as he goes around the track, getting into every zone. Nearly missing zone 4 there now, but drags the handbrake to get into zone 5. Jan looking very confident in this run. He knows where he made his mistakes on the first one. He wants to improve on him here. A very good run. Only 240 brake horsepower. Quite a big chassis as well to be pushing around the track.
Yeah, loving the livery there. The play on Metal Gear Solid, one of my favourite games of all time.
I always knew it looked familiar.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Well,
yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
so it's a play, but it's a 79 for Jan Reitler there, so a good score for the Corkman, putting him well up in the order in the rookies, just not enough to qualify for top 32 battle action in Pro 2. Couple of waivers there. I think the fluidity wasn't there in that run, so Ross Patterson sits on an 87, going for the big flick, the first real big flick we've seen. Not perfectly coming off here for the local man, but you know, he knows he's safe at him from the first run.
That's for sure, Mike. He definitely knew he was safe, and he was given a full send into that initiation there, and just did not work out for him. But he's given a lots of limiter here as well, as 550 ponies underneath the bonnet of that car go around the track, burning the rubber off it. and throwing a tyre absolutely flying there on the initiation point, but crossing the line. 87 on the board for himself already. Missing zones there, few mistakes. Don't think it will be an improvement on that.
Yeah, Ross Patterson not improving. It's a 76.7 for the County Down man, and he is pretty safe for battle action currently there, around 12th position, joint 12th with Jamie Hines and Justin Murphy. And we look down to the Red Bull ring, and it is Edgar Linus in the high-powered 350Z. This running 2J, I believe, turbo power.
That's for sure, Mike. Getting lots of practice for himself yesterday. 500 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that 350. No Chewbacca from this one, just turbo power as he goes through zones 1 and 2, looking quite flawless now, but can he tidy himself up into 3? Bit of a drag of the handbrake to get back online. Edgar looking quite strong here though, 54.7 on the board. It should be an improvement for himself. Lovely flick and fluid there into 4 and on to 5. Very tight here though for the transition into 6, but making it work. We've seen a lot better runs than that, different types of scores. 54.7, could, like, all he needs to get is an 81. And
yeah,
you might see it.
Just noticing that he's still a rookie driver, so I presume that's because he still hasn't qualified for twin battle action and won't be doing so today. Edgar is on a 65, so the rookie driver won't be qualifying. And I don't think he'll be on the podium in the rookies, but he will still be getting some points for his own championship there. Now, Niall Looney, another rookie driver, is on a huge score after the first run. He's on a 90, currently sitting in 6th position here in Bishopscourt. Let's see what the man in the Green Monster can do.
That's for sure, Green Monster for sure, as the Monster is coming over the hill here into zone 1. Right out to the edge of the track here, could have been improvement. Oh, just leaves the line a bit too early, missing zone 2 there now. Getting into 3, a bit shallow on the line for that as well for himself.
Yeah, a little bit of a waiver there as well, kind of a snap onto angle just as he leaves 3 there. So fluidity from the judges is not going to be, you know, very good. I think the style points won't be there. And yeah, coming all apart a little bit here for Looney on the second one, all the way up from Cork, like myself, making the long spin up to Bishopscourt here in beautiful Northern Ireland. Big fan of this part of the country. And won't be an improvement. Didn't see the score flash up there, but I can tell you won't be an improvement for Looney over a 90. Now Luke Fisher missing his first run there, the Kildare man with 400 brake horsepower under the bonnet in the IS 200. That's a 70.7. I would say that's the score from the last run for Niall Looney. Now we go to Luke Fisher, who is on his first run of the day. Adam didn't run the first time around.
Don't think this is Luke Fisher.
Is it not Luke Fisher? Wait, no, let me see.
Luke Fisher drives a green car.
Oh, Luke Fisher has a green.
Yeah,
exactly.
We went through this last time, man.
Yeah, we went through this last time.
It's a nice 200 lad.
It's a nice 200 lad.
Nice 200 lad.
Exactly. Oh, I thought Luke Fisher, yeah, was on the line because the graphic is there, but unfortunately, yeah.
As our lights went off there, and I was like, oh god, the power's gone. Then I realised I'm looking at a screen, but
yeah, a screen that needs power.
Yeah, sure. It could have been solar powered, lad. Could have been solar. Yeah, never know.
So, as we just wait for the graphic to update, and it should be Simon Osborne on the line, I believe. But let's confirm that.
We'll confirm that in just a moment, though, as we can see a lovely initiation here from this driver, Niall Looney, yes, in his IS 200. Look at this, lovely stuff here so far. Dropping tyres on zone 3, but just about keeping it in there, looking very strong. 90 on the board already. Can it be an improvement for him here, right up against the wall? Through zone 5 now, Swamp is shallow on the second half of that, transitioning back in for zone 6. A lovely run.
Yeah, okay, so I'm figuring out what happened here. The graphics got a little bit mixed up. Luke Fisher in the Skyline did run there, and it was 70.7 for him. That was now Niall Looney, so our sheets hadn't updated here. And Luke Fisher did run his first run of the day. We hadn't been updated with that, apologies for that, but that was Niall Looney that time on his second run of the day. So Luke Fisher was on track, apologies Luke for not calling the right names, and that is an 81 for Niall Looney on the second one. Doesn't improve.
No, not at all, but we're back to the line now. Is Simon Osborne, another one of the rash men in his ex-Molly Kerr 350Z, coming down over the hill here into zone 2, just missing it, but getting back in for zone 3. Lots of clutch kicks, trying to make it work. You can see that car jittering and jumping. trying to use all the power, missing zone 4 as well, unfortunately for himself, and 5. Unfortunately, doesn't look like this car is really set up for this track, but he finishes out the run in good spirits in the rookie championship as well. So 63 on the board throughout his first run, so that will be a few points on the board for himself.
Yeah, absolutely, it will indeed. Let's see the score dropping in as we look at Liam McGill on the line in the ever difficult RX8. So it's a 46 there for Simon. Doesn't improve. Rookie driver staying where he is on a 63, and Liam McGill on a 0. He put 4 wheels off on zone 5 on the first one. If you remember back here, guys, the turbo BMW powered RX8 hitting the limiter there, Adam. Sounds like he's a little bit short geared here as well. He's going to be under pressure to qualify with this
I
run.
was just listening to that, Mike. Definitely short geared a bit. Hitting that car right off the limiter, but on a 0 at the moment, so all the room for improvement for himself. Getting through zone 4 there quite nicely, which a lot of drivers are struggling with, and 5 there, just missing it just about, I'd say, straighten and getting into the second half there of zone 6. Liam McGill improving for sure, getting a score on the board, but I don't think it will be enough for battle action.
Yeah, so BMW making their M engines there, putting them into their cars naturally aspirated, and then it's not enough to strap a big old turbo to the side, but you have to hit it off the limiter 5,000 times on a lap as well, and that's good abuse for an engine.
Life lap put it into an RX8 as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 65. There is an improvement there for Liam, the rookie, 65.7, and he will be happy that he got a score on the board. And Stefan Wills now is on the line. He's currently scoring an 80, and the Antrim man as well, relatively local here to us in County Down.
That's for sure, Mike. This man knows he's on an 80 at the present moment. Thought there was a bit of a mechanical there, but he gets himself sorted out. Back in for zone 1 and 2. Sitting in 32nd position at the moment, so he has it all to play for here now. Ooh, struggling on zone 3, missing start for getting in there in the second half, though, getting right out to the edge as well. Lots of smoke coming out from the back of this car as we hear pops and bangs past the tower in through zones 5 and transition for 6. Stefan Wills looking very happy in his profile picture here on the screen, but is he going to be as happy after that run?
Well, the rumour is that he looks so happy because he got a Pops and Bangs map on his car.
That'd make me happy too.
Yeah, you know, he's just delighted just to be here with his Pops and Bangs going off, but it's an 80 on the first one, and it's an 83.7 for Stefan Wills.
Taking a bit of pressure off him for sure, put him into 22nd position now.
Yeah, he had to improve there. He was right on the drop zone, but does indeed improve, so he'll be delighted with that. Should be safe for battle action. Joins 22nd there with David Ford. Now Kat Darren on an 82.3, just in the danger zone here, sitting in 30th position. So the fantastic lady from Laois is needing to improve here, Adam, and I think she was on for a massive lap on the first one before that, braking before zone 5. So I don't know, I mean, the judges are just sorting out something here, so she's going to be waiting on the line here for a second. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Does it give you more time to think about your lap? You've had about an hour to do that anyway.
Do you know, from what I know of Kat Darren, especially when I was up the line yesterday doing the burnout box for the lads, Kat Darren just sits there and just smiles away, giddy, laughs away, have a bit of a chat with you. She ain't worrying. Yeah, she's here to have fun.
She seems to be having fun herself, and Matt seemed to enjoy the whole lifestyle of it, so she'll be on the line pretty happy. And yeah, with the V8 supercharged powered Matt's garage built E30 turbo, or sorry, supercharged, I just said that, supercharged V8 power. Guys, once again, if you are joining us here at IDS, the Irish Drift Series, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we are up here in Bishopscourt for round 3 of the Pro2 Championship, and we'll be going to the Pro Championship, of course, tomorrow, where everything will be turned up quite a lot further with semi-slick tyres and all the crazy horsepower, and the top drivers in Ireland. You're currently watching the Pro2 Championship, of course, where the up-and-coming guys and the guys who maybe have not yet, you know, gotten their pro license, or some of them don't want to get the pro license with the added cost and the added, you know, stress of it, and the added stress on the car with the semi-slick tyres. So a lot of the Pro2 guys opting to stay in Pro2. They love the championship, they love the community within it. So that is what you are watching now, basically the second tier of Irish drifting and the feeder for the Pro Series. But you know, don't scoff at it. It is a very, very, very competitive championship in its own right, as you can see from the scores on the left. And we will be getting ready for battle action, which is kicking off at about 3 p.m. If we do make that now, I would say we will. 3 p.m. Irish time. and we will be whittling them down through top 16 where the action really heats up, and then grade 8 final 4 and into the finals by about 6 o'clock.
That's for sure, Mike. Hopefully, so we'll be seeing some pro action as well before the end of the day for everyone here at this track. So I get to see them do a bit of practice before tomorrow as well. A few of them drivers having some mechanicals, having some overheating issues and stuff. So hopefully they get them dialed in, and throughout practice today they can have that all sorted and ready for battle action tomorrow. But we're back to the action that's happening right in front of us. It's Kat Darren on her second qualifying run, coming down here into zone 1, dragging a handbrake, making it work for herself. Those we can hear that turbocharger scream. Looking very strong here for Kat. 82.3 on the board for herself. Can she improve on this? She is making battle action as it looks at the moment. Can she make it all the way into zone 4? Very shallow onto it, but I'd say she just about does. Missing zone 5 though here, Mike. That's where she had the mistake last time, and just unfortunately repeating it as well. And on zone 6 here, maybe getting just about in there, but a bit shallow on some of the runs. Maybe if the track would just squeeze this one a bit smaller, Kat Darren would have got it.
Yeah, I think she just really needs to get committed into zone 5, and she's on for a big score or a big lead run. Currently she's going to be waiting, and it's a 74.3, she's going to be waiting quite a while here to, understand her fate, and Chris McConnell is one guy who can knock her down. The County Down man, the very local native here, with just a pretty much standard 350Z, doing a good job here so far. They've had him right on the outside line. That's for sure. He's making Chewbacca do his work. As we've seen lots of clutch kicks there through zone 3 as it's on limiter as well, passing the tower through zone 4 and into 5 now, just on the edge of it, losing a few marks for not getting rightly deep into that zone, but making it work for himself. Chris McConnell, 69.3 on the board for himself, 360 across the line as well. Yeah, he's
I
happy.
say it will be an improvement on that.
Yeah, he's happy. Always a good sign when the driver does a 360. He's happy, and it's not an improvement at him. It's a 62.7. So Chris McConnell, the rookie driver, not qualifying for battle action, as just over half of our field will be not doing. Now Dave Flaherty is a man who will be in battle action. A man, as we said earlier, we expect to see him a little bit higher in the championship at this stage. The Galway man, a top driver, he's going to demonstrate that right now. He's on an 88 so far, well up there in 9th position. Let's see if he can improve and get into the top 5 here.
That's for sure. A very well built car and a very well looking car as well. One of your favourite liveries, Mike, as you said, 88 on the board. He has all the possibilities of improving on that as well. Not that he needs to do so, but he has the talent. David Flaherty crosses the line on his second qualifying run. Either matched or maybe improved a bit.
Yeah, good strong colours here on the livery. Really liking the car, like almost HRC Honda Racing Corporation, red, blue and white there. Not an improvement for the Galway man, just a 76 for Dave Flaherty, and he will be okay from his first score for battle action. But a man on the line, Dean Dillon, is currently not qualifying. The Pro2 outright driver on a 67.3, looking once again very workmanlike on his graphic here, but let's see what he can do. Is he going to put in a workmanlike lap here at him and just get the job done? And it looks like he's struggling so far.
Struggling for sure. He looks like he wanted to do it right on our edge through zones 1 and 2, but it didn't work out for him, and now shutting out down for 3. It did look like that after initiation there. He lost a bit of power, so obviously some mechanicals happening there as he shuts it down. Just after zone 3 here, 67.3 on the board. It's going to be a 0 on his second. Unfortunately, that's the last we'll be seeing of Dean Dillon here for round 3. Getting it started back up. Maybe he conked it.
Ran out of petrol.
Yeah, that's what it was. Blinker fluid, lad. Blinker fluid load.
I remember Jack Shanahan in a battle a few years back, many years back now, and knocked off the car on the kill switch while changing down. So his knuckle just hit the kill switch. So funny things can happen. Behind the wheel of drift cars, there's a lot going on, and we go back to the line. It's Cathal O'Grady in the green Sylvia.
It sure is, Mike, an ex-Drift Games car. This is the car we see Josh Holdsworth driving before, but now it's drove by Cathal O'Grady. He looks very comfortable in it. Oh, going wide, sending the water barriers everywhere. I'm not too sure if he thought they were clipping points or what, but they're all over the place now. Hopefully he can dodge them as he comes through and around for zone 4. I don't know where all the water barriers went. They just went flying, I suppose.
They're up against the tyre wall here.
They're on to zone 5.
Way on the outside, all the way around. And it's hot on the transition then,
yeah.
Cathal O'Grady not going to improve on an 83 with that one.
He's like, I'll sit on the edge of it. But
very entertaining.
It's going to go out there and cause absolute mayhem.
Yeah, just very entertaining from the Galway men there. Gentlemen outside the car as well. as the marshals now get the unenviable job of putting back about 8 water barriers.
If not more, if what's left of them is that as well.
Which have been scattered like skittles in a
myself,
bowling alley.
Myself and Mike went down there yesterday to try out that job, and I absolutely pity the lads down there. It's a lot of work running back and forth. You know, I thought I had a hard here sitting down and just talking absolute bollocks, but running around the place down there is a lot like.
It is indeed. So you're going to excuse yourself there, Adam, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was trying to think not a bad word, and then that was the closest thing to not a bad word.
First one of the day. But
that's one euro into the swear jar.
Many more to come, exactly. But we are almost ready to rock, I believe, as the marshals just get the last of the bits and bobs from Cahill's car and the water barriers tidied up and the water barriers put back. Good visual outline for the drivers here, because you know you are quite low down in these cars and you don't have quite the vantage point on the track, so the water barriers can help just be a slightly peripheral visual reference for the drivers to see the track edges. Cahill O'Grady not taking much notice of them going running straight into the pit.
That's for sure. I heard one driver actually comparing Bishopscourt to the Sahara Desert earlier. He wouldn't have said that yesterday with the torrential rain we got for a little bit, but he meant on the likes of the flat ground. If you look out the window here in the tower, Mike, for a long distance that I wouldn't like to walk until we see a hill, just whatever way this place is made, it's rightly on a completely flat ground, nearly all level.
Yeah, well, there's no hills here, but there is a slight downhill from the, there's no big humps and hollows here. Obviously, it's an airfield, but it is downhill slightly from the start line, which is a little bit harder to see on the live stream. But I assure you, there is a drop down into the first corner. Hence why you see some drivers, like Cahill there, if they bring in the speed, they run a little bit wide because they are going slightly downhill. But yeah, disused World War II airfield up here in Bishopscourt, which was seen in active service, so lots of history here.
That's for sure, but the only battle action to see now is drifting.
Well, this is it, yeah. Very strange place, kind of mad experience to be here at night, you can imagine. Not sure exactly what planes took off here, but I'd imagine it was Lancaster bombers and the like take you off from here, and you can imagine what it was like on a windy night here, take you off to in your fate, so lots of history here, and you can feel it in the air here, especially at night, like I said. So Jack Irwin, one of our only junior drivers in Pro2 this year, unusually. The other junior driver is top in qualifying currently, Jack Mulvihill. So I'm just going to confirm that Jack Irwin, both the Jacks, Jack Irwin is a junior driver at 17 on the graphic. My understanding was it was 13 to 16 previously, but maybe that has been changed to 17 for this season. I'm not sure
we'll have to confirm that, Mike, but we're down track now with the 17-year-old. It's Jack Irwin leaving for his second qualifying run, 76.3 in his first. Can he improve on that? He looks like he's determined to do so as he gets through zones 1 and 2, filling the zones lovely and nice. And same here for zone 3, nice and wide on her, taking the rear end, the rear bumper off that BMW E36. Quite a simple car, 330 brake horsepower, making it work for himself, getting into each and every zone now. Lovely line as he transitions back now for zone 6, right on the edge of it for the young County Tyrone man.
Yeah, so Jack Irwin, he just has it, doesn't he, after that lap there. When you see a guy, working a slightly underpowered car like that, it's usually a great sign, to be honest. And it's an 80 for the young Tyrone driver, putting him joint with Conor Liddy, Brendan Carney, and a couple of other drivers out of graphic there. So it's going to be a long wait. A couple more drivers on there. Peter Malloy is on an 80, or just under an 80 as well. Glenn McKillen. So a lot of drivers there. Finbar Crowley's on an 83.3. He wants to improve here as well, Adam. He's still in the danger zone.
That is for sure. 83.3 is in battle action at the moment, but he could improve on this to see himself a bit more safer. 250 brake horsepower on this car, but he makes it work for himself. Not exactly the right line there through zone 4, and it's affecting him now for 5. He transitions back for zone 6. Coming up from County Cork, a bit of a spin for himself. He's trying to make it worth it, having a bit of fun out there on track.
Well, these Welded Gear Solid guys, they're all about having fun, and they always enjoy, the track time. So I'm sure that they're having a laugh, and it's not an improvement for Finbar. He's on a 71.3 on his second run there, so he's going to have a bit of a wait on an 83.3 here, joint. 24 to Cahill O'Grady and Francie Hines. Once again, guys, in a tight score, we will go back to the driver's other score from their first or second run to create the tiebreaker. Now a man who is on a good score of an 86, should be alright for battle action, but will want to improve for that easier battle and a few championship points. Dave Richards, all the way up from Kerry, enters the track.
That's for sure. 16th position at the moment for David Richards. Few struggles yesterday, but looking a lot more comfortable today as he's right out on the edge of track for zone 3 there. Pushing that stock power BMW 3 litre from sure someone's saying 260 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car. Looking very strong here on his second run, just missing zone 6 though. So it's an 86 on the board for him already. I don't think it will be an improvement on that, Mike, but he should be safe at that centre of the board as well, so he'll be quite comfortable for himself.
Yeah, so good start to the lap there, really good start from Dave, not quite as strong a finish, and it's a 79.7, so no improvement for the Kerry men. And Callum Coogan will be up next, if I can find him on our screen here where he is currently sitting. I can't see him, but yeah, I think he was a last minute
over
entry.
here
he is. He's at 41st actually, unusually for Callum Coogan. Last minute entry. Yeah, so in Stephen Halfty's old E36 Pro car, M3 power under the bonnet.
That's for sure. Pro car is well able to do so, and looks like Callum Coogan has found out now. He's looking a lot stronger here on his second one, right out to the edge of every single zone he's fulfilled so far. Even through zone 4 here, where a lot of drivers struggle now, into 5. Bit of a dab on the handbrake to keep that car in drift. Lovely line here. It's definitely not going to be a 79 if you cross the line this manner, and he does, Mike. He's going to improve on this.
Yeah, well, just, you know, if you haven't been a briefing this morning, which you probably haven't if you're watching at home, the judge is wanting to see minimal handbrake drags there throughout the course, except for the braking zone into outer zone 3. A little bit into 5 as well is perfectly acceptable, but a lot of adjustments there from Callum Coogan. Good line, but I think those adjustments caught him out, and it's an 82. Now Kieran Lynch is on a 0 currently, the Cork man, after making the big trip up, huge entry. Remember on the first lap, right over here is where he got cut out, landed into the tyres. They seem to have that car repaired at him, and it looks, but almost the same thing happening again, as I just said, it looks better.
Oh, Mike, you ruined it. Commentators cursed there as well. He did exactly what he done the first run through 1 and 2. Looked absolutely flawless, but that decel zone just catching him out. Kieran Lynch shutting it down then. He said, it's not even a bother. I'm not going to get the score I wanted or what I deserve. So he's like, I'm going to go away and just smile and be happy.
Yeah, but Bishopscourt is always a good time. There's always a party here, guys, on the Saturday night. And yeah, and you get a little bit of open track time down the other runway as well later on. And yeah, it's always a good time. So Kieran Lynch not qualifying after making the trip up from Cork, but you know what, that's drifting, and we move it on to Nathan Corcoran, man, who will be qualifying. The Carlow native with 800 horsepower under the bonnet with 2JZ in the E46. What can he do? Can he improve here? He's looking pretty good here, Adam.
That's for sure. 800 brake horsepower in this, one of the highest powered cars in the Pro2 category. Struggling a bit there on zone 4 and trying to get into 5, 87.7 on the board. So he's definitely out here just to put down his second one, maybe improving it, but I don't think it will be after that. 360s across the line. He's feeling happy after that first run though.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And if you are watching at home or you're in the locality, be sure to come along tomorrow, guys, if you're not here today, because Pro Competition takes this and injects it with lots more horsepower. All the cars pretty much are up to spec of Nathan's there, but you add in the semi-slick rear tyres and you add in the top drivers in Ireland, and you have crazy action. And we will be bigging up the crowd, and the atmosphere takes it, you know, the atmosphere gets to another level on Pro Day. So if you are in the vicinity or you're looking for something to do tomorrow, get down here to Bishopscourt Diff and Drift and check out some Irish Drift Series action. Dale McGreen is leaving the line.
That's for sure, Mike. We'll go back to Nathan's score in just a moment, but it's Dale McGreen coming through here with lots of limiter pops and bangs and everything now into zone 3. Lots of angle as well, looking very fluid here. 83 on the board for himself already at the bottom edge of the top 32. Definitely ratio just a small bit short for this track, I'd imagine here, but he's making it work for himself, but that could affect him in battle action. 500 brake horsepower. And just spins before the line.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a 0?
Yeah, that's a spin before the line. I think that's a 0 just before the line. If you're at 90 degrees or beyond when you cross the line, it's a 0, and it is the Cavan man making life hard for himself on an 83, and there are plenty drivers yet to come, guys, who are underneath the threshold here for qualifying, so it's a long wait for Dale McGreen. Back to Nathan Corcoran, 89.3 for the Carlow men, knocking him a little bit further up into 7th position. He will be delighted with that. Jack Mulvihill still leads qualifying on a 95.7. Dale McBreen way down in the drop zone there, currently in 27th, so a long wait now. His teammate is on the line here, Adam.
That's for sure. Another one, the 11-0 Lemon style cars, looking very stylish down there. These cars, we've seen them all out giving the passenger spins in Watergrass Hill, and they're very unique when you see them all together. It's a very Japanese influenced style, so it's nice to see teams coming together and like matching their styles, building the team brand around it as well.
Yeah, true to the Japanese roots of drifting. All the Lemon style cars look really great on track, really slammed as well down on the ground, exactly what we are used to seeing way back in the day in D1 in Japan. And Alan Connaughty with that beautiful Zinky S14 firing it in here. Listen to this as well, SR20 power in the 11-0 car. The Lemon style drift car, lovely angle. Look at that, look at the fluidity onto angle as we lose the stream for a second, but really nice fluidity onto angle. Right on the wall then, as he rotates it back around now. Now gets it turned once again for zone 5. Nothing too serious, you know, just gets the car rotated in, dab with the handbrake to settle it, transitions back, and a lovely banker lap, almost a first qualifier lap, but a man who looks like very in control of his car there, and currently on an 89.3 here, Adam.
That's for sure.
Looking consistent.
I think he might be one to watch today, Mike, because he's looking very consistent and comfortable with this track. 89.3 on the board for himself already. He's an 83 now. Bit of a gap on them scores, but he looked very fluid throughout. We're going to go back.
Very chaseable.
That's for a fact. We're going to go back to the line now as the first of the two Malloy brothers is leaving. It's 79.3 on the board for himself, 340 brake horsepower. Can he make it work?
Well, he's not qualifying currently. Peter Malloy would be one of the favourites for this championship. He was in the championship hunt here in Pro2 action last year. Unfortunately for him, right now, the local man from Castlewellan currently not qualifying, but he's looking a lot better here. Adam picks up all of 3 there, picks up 4, gets the car lovely into 5, just uses that handbrake to drag it in there, stays wide a little bit long compared to what the judges wanted to see, but gets the car rotated back around, snaps the transition into 6 and crosses the line.
He sure does, Mike, as you mentioned there. Definitely a top contender for taking this championship home. One of the lower powered cars, but such a consistent and strong driver. And this is what we're used to seeing from Peter Malloy. It's a 93.3 for the first Malloy brothers. We're moving back to the line now as more action's about to kick off with Tom Hayden on 84.7 on his second qualifying run now, getting through zones 1 and 2, a bit shallow on the line, but making it work. It's a bit of a drag on the handbrake for zone 3 to get right up and in there. Coming onto the second half of this run, 84.7, leaving him in 20th position at the moment. Can he make his way up further on the qualifying score for battle action? We're going to find out as he transitions back into zone 6 and crosses the line.
Yeah, really nice run there from Tom to Kildareman. Very consistent driver and rocking the really Japanese looking big spoilered S13 180 there, always looking great and does improve. It's an 88.3 for Tom Hayden, mixing up the top end of the table there, dropping him into 11th position. Now Kieran O'Dwyer, the man from County Limerick, we said, just about not from Kerry. He's on an 84 on his first run on in his old car, sorry. He bought another E46 with Saab power. New baby there as well, so a lot going on in Kieran O'Dwyer's life. New car, new baby.
2 new babies.
Yeah, 2 new babies, exactly. But one of the new babies had a blown turbo. Not the baby, the car that is.
The Saab powered baby.
The Saab powered baby had a blown turbo, and yesterday, and unfortunately for him, not in action, but he's going okay in the V8 powered one, and he's looking like he's happy there. He's looking like he's happy there, Adam, doing a 360 across the line. Not sure if it's going to be much of an improvement.
That's for sure, Mike. Fuchsia is a bit shallow on some of the zones there, as we can see reflect on his score, 76.3 for himself. But he did say that he is more comfortable in this car and the ratio of it than his other car. Currently sitting in 21st position, so he should be safe for battle action. By right, we're moving back to the line now with our next driver. It's a man coming over from Devon in the UK.
Same score as Kieran O'Dwyer, just put in by Alex Williams on his first run. Let's see if the Devon man can improve. He has a long trip, as we said, very, very southwest of England. And let's see. He leaves the line in the S14, 600 brake horsepower under the bonnet, 22 years of age, fires in the S14, lovely line right on the outside, exactly what the judges want to see, feathers the throttle, 6-cylinder turbo noises, ringing around the airfield here in Bishopscourt, but goes very wide and carries too much commitment into the outer zone 3. and our spectators there getting a bird's eye view. And I think he knew he was on a big one there, Adam, and he said he was going for top spot, but not working out there for the Devon men.
That's for sure, Mike. We always talk about that banker lap. Maybe that's what he went for in his first run. That's play safe, get that score on the board, make your way into battle action, and then second one, go out there. Use it as your safe pass if your first one didn't work out, or go out there and just give it full send. And I think that's what Alex was going for there in that very stylish looking car.
I'm looking
0 on the board for him now after that.
Ryan Nelly's on a 70.3, Ronan Doherty's on a 79, Clark Hatton with no clutches on a 40, Owen Foran fully capable of scoring higher on a 47. How many is that? That's 4 so far. Jack Kelly, 5, is on a 78. Niall McInerney's on a 79. So there are 6 drivers left here, guys, at the top end of the championship, if I've counted correctly, that still can knock out all of the drivers here in the drop zone. So if you are in 3, 4, 5, 6, if you're Francis Hines in 27th position, or Finbar Crowley, or Cahill O'Grady, who are all joint scores there, we'd have to check their second score to see which one of those is actually in 27th because they're tied. You're not safe.
You'll be sitting on the edge of your seat for the next 10-15 minutes, I'd imagine so.
And I mean, look at this. Erikas Nevitskas is not safe here. One of the top drivers in the Pro2 Championship, and Dale McBreen with him is on an 83. So if Erikas, does actually manage to qualify, one of the top guys last year in Pro2, he's going to have a battle. He's going to be facing off against the likes of Jack Mulville, Andrew Kinna, Peter Malloy here, but he is a fantastic battle driver, so you would fancy him to be in with a shout there, despite his qualifying position. Dale McBreen also in the drop zone there, kind of hanging around there, and it's going to be a long wait here for Callum Coogan. I would say Callum Coogan is in trouble here, Adam, because there's, we're in reverse order again, and there are 6 drivers yet to come who are underneath the 82-point threshold. So, yeah, I think it's... Cat Darren is there as well, Stuart Gordon. So it's going to be a long wait for a few of these guys as we get to Devon man here. Alex Williams recovered. The thing with the tyre wall is, at least we do have 2 walls here, obviously, but you're kind of glancing off them. You're not really facing into them. The concrete walls, the tyre wall, when you do end up in it, it generally doesn't really do a lot of damage.
That's for sure, Mike. It's a bit more squishy than concrete
it's
now,
more
isn't it?
squishy.
Yeah, it's more squishy.
And that is the technical term, and the squishiness rating is a very scientific rating. We use it on tyres as well, and I do see a wrong toe angle on the back there, as I say. Not a lot of damage can be done, but I do see significantly toe out there in the back of Alex Williams' car. That won't be handling very well. He'll have to get that back to the pits and all of that straightened out. Hopefully he has spares, but it is a Nissan, and I'm sure there'll be loads of spares, be it Weisfab or pretty standard Nissan back end on that. And so the squishiness rating, very important. The tyres have a huge squishiness rating of 97 out of 100.
That's for sure.
Yeah, the wall has 0 then. Out of 100.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah. So that's your squishiness.
Well, like they are tire tractors now, so I'd give them like a 83 on the squishiness level.
Oh yeah, well tractor tires would be less squishy on the rating. They'd only be about 50 actually.
They would too, actually. Yeah. Last time I checked, they were. Anyways, talking enough about squishiness, we're back to the line here.
Gone very far off the track here. Totally on the wrong side of the track on initiation. Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what way that works out. Maybe he just. I don't know how that's going to work out, to be honest. I don't know if that was all 4 tires off or which, but 82.7 on the board for himself. If that initiation works out, he's definitely looking quite a lot stronger here. Zone 1-2 worked out better for him, and the rest of his track seems to be doing the same. Very wide here, though, before the transition, first 6, and just loses this. Not even if he went off there for start, he was like, it's fine now.
Yeah, well, Stuart Gordon is one of the guys we just spoke about in 38th position. He really needed to improve there to book himself a place in the top 32, but doesn't improve, as you can see here, guys. It's a 0 for the man in the skyline from Antrim, and he will not be happy with that because he has a wait now of about 10 minutes where he will be on the edge of his seat. And next up, who is it? It is Ryan Nelly, currently not qualifying, guys. One of the top drivers in the championship as well, not qualifying. He has to pull out a huge one here, Adam.
That's for sure, man. It definitely has the capabilities of in the near future making his way in pro and up the ranks as well.
There.
He sure is keeping that car on angle as much as he can. 70.7 on the board for himself. He is a big improvement to do so if he wants to get into battle action as he deletes that rear bumper off the car, but brings it all the way home with him as he crosses the line.
Yeah, much better there from Ryan Nally, and big shout out to him and John there, always doing their best here in IDS. The Westmeath young man, let's see if he improves by much. It is going to be an improvement, I think, by quite a lot. Is it enough to knock Callum Coogan down? It is. Callum Coogan gets knocked out of competition. It's an 85 for Ryan Nally, putting him into 21st position, right behind Rad, Don Burkett, and in front of Kieran O'Dwyer and Alex Williams. So that is Callum Coogan done, and Francie Hines is now on the line, and he's on an 83.3, sitting in joint 26th, 7th, 8th position until we split them up on their second score. So Francie Hines has to improve here, Adam, because he is not safe.
That is for sure, Mike. I mentioned earlier on that I think 83 is going to be the drop zone for the top 32. I think I may have got that right on the button. So Francie Hines has room to improve here. As I said, looking very comfortable this weekend. Great character outside the car, great character inside the car with his style of driving, but not the most consistent man. This year though, looking more and more consistent, so hopefully right now we can do an improvement on the 83.3 and put a higher score for himself.
Yeah, well, he's right there in the danger zone, and of course if you are there, you are going to be facing off against one of the top guys in qualifying. It is usually a disadvantage, not always, but Francie Hines with the SR20 powered Candy Culture era Sil 80, top style points from me for being a Sil 80, but yeah, a bit of a waver there, just doesn't quite get that fluid transition into angle on 3 there, Adam.
That's for sure, Mike. You speak about a bit of a waver there before 3. He was also on the handbrake for that whole time of a waver, trying to get that car where he wants it to do. The line looking quite solid here, but a few mistakes that the judges are really going to pick up on, unfortunately, for Francie Hines. Getting across the line, quite a quick run as well from himself. Be interesting to see what way this score comes back from the judges.
Yeah, lots of tyre smoke around Bishopscourt here after Francie Hines. The road tyres getting pretty much melted there off the back of the Sil 80, and it's a 76.3 for the Galway man. Not improving, so a long wait here for Francie Hines until he learns of his fate by the end of qualifying in 10 or so minutes time. As we go back to the line, it's Ronan Doherty, another man not qualifying, leaving the line, Adam.
That's for sure. It's another S13, this time a PS13. Looking a lot stronger this time, 79, just missing out at the time of getting into his top 32. Can he improve on it? Looks like he might just be able to do so, Mike. That car has the power, 450 brake underneath the bonnet of it. The man from County Mayo looking a lot stronger this time, getting into zone 5, quite shallow on all the zones, but still in there, picking up the score that he needs to do, and crosses the line.
Yeah, let's see if he can improve, because Ronan there, just look at the championship here. And I wasn't looking at the run, to be honest with you, Adam. I was looking at the championship, letting you do your job on the run.
You missed out, because it was quite a good run.
Yeah,
sure it was. 79 on the board for himself. His score is about to drop in. It does. He's making his way up. It's 87.3. He will be happy with that. That's more what we're used to seeing from him.
We've just lost Cat Derren from competition in 33rd position, so Ronan Doherty knocking out Cat Derren. We move it along to a man who won't be knocked out. He's in second in qualifying. Can he go top? It is the man from DRT Automotive, the man from Kildare. It's Andrew Kinna wavering as he enters the track. All 700 brake horsepower of the 2JZ being put to use here in the IS 300. Bang on that outside line. He's looking like a new man here, Adam.
He sure is. I don't know what he's after taking for this round, or whatever he's after doing to that car, because whatever it is, it's working for him. Andrew Kenna looking very strong here at the end of his second qualifying run. Apart from that waver between 1 and 2, I think he could have matched his score. 94.7 on the board, 700 brake horsepower. He knows how to use it. Can it be enough to top his first run?
I think that little waver on the way in wasn't going to let him top it, but it's a 90 for Andrew Kinna with the impact score from the judges there, I think being very big. Full commitment from the ECU Master Ireland head honcho, and yeah, it is not an improvement, but it's a double 90 score there, so it's looking very good. Could be a dark horse for a podium here. Now Marcus Heinen all the way up from a tower in Cork. These self-sponsored Village Tyres from Ballincollig. Young man in the PS13 Sylvia, getting a lot of parts from ourselves in Group D over the winter, building this car with the quick change, etc. A lot of the Pro 2 guys opting for the Bulldog quick change, you know, making the car have the changeable gearing in 2 seconds. Jack Mulville, actually, we brought up some gears for him. His gearing wasn't right. For Bishopscourt, they had no data from the track with the new gearbox. Brought up some new gears at 3.7, and new man absolutely perfect. Loving it. Then he was too long geared. So these quick change diffs are a super big advantage. If your car isn't perfect, you can pretty much make it perfect in terms of gearing for each track.
And that's for sure, Mike. As you speak there about Bulldog diffs and so on, it can just show how much the level is raising on the cars and the performance on them and the builds and the money and time and effort that's going into these.
Crazy,
as you mentioned time and time again, the sport is becoming more and more like a family-based thing where there's real teams based around it. You see the likes of the brothers, the Davy brothers, who are now up in the Pro 1 category. It's families coming together for drifting now. It's not just little lads in the shed. Obviously, we do still have a few of them.
Yeah.
But you can see that the budget is really being put into it, the time, the effort, the data research, all this. Whereas before, it used to just be a little lad showing up in a car and sure, we'll send it sideways, see how it goes when we go on the beer that night.
Yeah, we used to just show up for the going out and we do a bit of driving in between. But you know, then I guess the tyre sponsors started coming in, and yeah, you know, I mean, it was always a huge high level here in Ireland, but it was, like you said, it was a lot of friends in the shed quite often. According as the sport has developed and gotten a little bit more professional and stuff, you do see definitely more of the family unit coming in, hence Marcus Heinen Jr. and Senior being involved together, of course, there. And that's how it goes, you know, the sport getting a little bit more expensive because the power keeps going up, the tyre keeps going up, and when the power and the tyre keep going up, your transmission has to go up because it breaks. And then you kind of need a BMW gearbox for the 2Js really, or a 350Z gearbox, and if not, you're going with a G-Force dog box, or you're going with a Samsung sequential or a DM A sequential from us, the Czech, the Czechia based company. I can never think because DMI make the Bulldog and DMA make the gearboxes, so I have to think about that one. But yeah, you have to go basically long story short. If you're not going with a BMW road gearbox or a 350Z gearbox for the JZ cars, you're pretty much left with a dog box or sequential. And then when you're that far in, if you've got a Sylvia back end, putting in a GTR back end doesn't really work at that power levels because you break it, and every time you break a shaft, it's really expensive. Or if you break a diff, break a chrome wheel, it's super expensive. So you might as well just bite the bullet, get the quick change. Then all of a sudden you've got a dog box and a quick change. None of that stuff will break, but you're 20 grand worse off. So that's how it works.
It's absolutely incredible stuff because you would think with drifting especially, what people want to do is take grip out of our car, make sure it can skid and slide and spin and all this kind of crazy stuff. But realistically, what these lads are doing now, the way that the level that this sport is getting to, all they want to do is put grip into their cars. They're almost like race cars in the matter of how much grip they're trying to push into it.
Yeah.
And how fast they can just do that while going sideways.
You might, sorry, I cut across you. You might see some of the lesser powered Pro 2 cars, you know, the BMWs with 230 horsepower trying to take grip out.
Of course, yeah.
The car physically cannot do the track, so they'll be going with big tyre pressures, they'll be going with really hard shock settings in order to make the car, make the suspension like not absorb the forces in the back of the car, make the car almost float on the back tyres. They'll be pumping up the back tyres in order to lessen the contact patch with the track as well, and maybe running harder springs again in order to let the suspension do less work, transfer more of the force down, and the car almost glides across the surface a little bit easier. But when you get the power, you start to really look for the GPS, and you start to make the car faster and faster. Hence why you start to see the 520 horsepower cars of Marcus Heinen will have a huge advantage, obviously, over the 230 horsepower cars of the likes of the guys we saw at the start there, like Taylor Broggy. So yeah, it is a constant evolution of both man and machine. And it is a very, very interesting sport to see where it's going, and some of the top guys in our championship are 17, 16 years of age.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Like even over the last couple of years, we're getting more and more involved in this sport now, commentating alongside yourself and so on, getting to like see every single one in detail, again, see their score, see the behind the scenes, and talk to these drivers up close. The amount of effort and work that goes into it, it's not just a case of just rock up, sit in your car, off you go. These guys preparing weeks, months, years beforehand, and they're all just coming up here to just burn rubber, throw money away, literally burn rubber and burn money to just have the crack. There's so much passion and love behind this sport, especially with the groups, the families, everything that is there, and you know, it just wouldn't be possible without everyone here, everyone that's here in attendance today, especially for the likes of the Pro2s, the upcoming series, and everyone's tuning in online on the live stream stuff. Great opportunity for people who are down south that can't make the travels to see it, as well as to our sponsors as well. So we give them another shout out to Lucky Day Competitions and Red Bull Energy, our 2 title sponsors of this series, who are really making it possible for this opportunity for these young drivers to come up throughout to have that opportunity, as well as to our other sponsors, Kenda Tires, Drift Mafia, Strom Wheels, GMD Tires, Yugen Factory, who created our lovely trophies you'll be seeing on our social medias over the next coming days that are going to be giving out over this weekend, as well as Group D, where you come from, Mike.
I don't come from there.
You were born there. No, you were born there. You live in the office.
I feel like I was born there.
Turn Tire Distribution, Max Flow, Exemplar, Exact Signs, and Lexi Brake. A great group of Irish brands, businesses that are supporting Irish drifting.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, just to update you there, just a quick technical issue there with the judges, the keypads dropping in. A little bit of an error there. The judges, of course, using keypads to keep track of the scores as the run progresses. There was a quick error there with the keypads, and they were just resetting the system there to make sure that all was right for the next run, which is Marcus Heinen. His tyres have now gone cold, so he'll be sent back to the burnout box in order to get consistent temperature back into the road tyres on the back of his car. And as we always say, Adam, very important to get a little bit of heat at least into the front tyres and scrub off the rubber, which accumulates massively on the front tyres.
You wouldn't think it, when you being down the line yesterday, especially in the burnout box, seeing it, the amount of stuff that they pick up is incredible.
Yeah, the front tyres end up with channels of the rubber clumps in like lines around the tyre in straight channels, so you basically end up with just that stuff on the track. So very important to scrub your front tyres as well as get heat into your rears.
That's for sure, man. That's getting heat into his rears right now is Marcus Heinen as he burns those rear tyres off that PS13 520 brake horsepower, using every single bit of it with lots of wheel speed here. Max Heinen, that little weight there between his run didn't hesitate or make him stumble at all. Lovely stuff there. Just clipping the back of the car off the wall there on zone 5 on the entry to it, and crosses the line for zone 6.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that's Marcus Heinen in the 90s, but he just dropped a wheel there, which is an automatic 5-point deduction from the judges as he went through 6. I still think he's on for a really good score, but yeah, oh well, you know what, he might have been on for the perfect score. Apart from that, it's a 94 for Marcus Heinen, dropping him straight into 3rd position, and I think he was top in qualifying there apart from dropping that wheel at him. That was a huge run from the Corkman.
That's for sure. I was having a conversation during the week about a few of the drivers, and Max Heinen was one that we were speaking about. He's really one that can really make his way up and maybe take a championship home with him in the near future. We're going down to the line now to another man that has surprised me quite a lot in the last 2 rounds, maybe not so much doing what he has been doing in those today, sitting on 48.7. It's 0-4 in the pizza man. And man, if you need to know anything about pizza, he's the guru to talk to, and he's becoming a bit of guru about drifting as well, because we've seen him reach podiums and stuff in the last previous rounds, and looking very strong since he got that ex-Candy Culture 180.
Well, yes, I mean, Stuart Gordon is going to be watching this one with bated breath, because 0-4 could knock him out here. The Kerryman is still a rookie driver. He's the second last rookie driver after Jack Kelly to still run in reverse championship order, but Stuart Gordon in his Skyline will be very, very nervous of this one, as the man behind Dough Mama Pizza in the Stolen County Kerry makes his way very nicely around the track, and he's looking good for qualification here, Adam. He's going to be under pressure. He's going to know that he has one run here to get it done. He's doing everything pretty right. He's on for a big score here, Adam. He's right on the outside of the track. He's right now exactly where the judges want him to be. Backed out of the transition a little bit in order not to put a wheel across the line. Takes the safe option just before the last section, and 0-4 and has put in a big score there, Adam.
A big score for sure. I was watching very closely there. A lot of use of the handbrake, but he was doing it to make it work for himself. And you know what? He done it. It's an 86 on the board for 0-4 and in his second one. Getting him into battle action now, sitting him in 20th position.
Yeah, which means that Ericus Navicus is currently tied with Dale McBreen, both on zeros on their other runs by the looks of things.
But can he improve on it, Mike? Because he's out there now for his second run. He knows the pressure is on. He's on the drop zone. Ericus Navicus through 1 and 2. Lovely stuff there from him, and through 3. You know, Mike, it's definitely got to be an improvement if he keeps this up. Bit early leaving there, zone 3. Getting out to zone 4 though, looking very comfortable in his ego-driven street style E46. Very stylish car and a very stylish run from him.
Yeah, it's a high cut-off zone here, guys, in Pro 2 in Ireland. 32 places, 83 is the cutoff. He's sitting right on it. I think he's after improving at him. He did come away from 3 a little bit early, but I think overall he's after doing enough to really improve. And it's a 90.7 for the man from Nace, so a big improvement, dropping him way up the order into joint 7th position there with Bartek Blazejewski. Now, speaking of Bartek Blazejewski, here he is. He's on a 90.7 with just 300 brake horsepower. Son of Magic Blazejewski, long-time competitor here in IDS, taking a back seat in order to focus on Drift Mafia and help his son out on track. Let's see what he can do. It's 300 horsepower. It's a big ass to improve on a 90 with that kind of power here at him, but he's a really great technical driver. Can he do it?
I think he can, Mike. I could be wrong in saying this, so I will have to check in it, but I think he got podium here last year. Can he do the same today as he knocks that cone out of on initiation through zones 1 and into 2? Not the most fast car going around today, but definitely one of the most dialed in drivers. He's very tuned in to IS2. He does his research on the tracks, and he knows where he needs to put that BMW E36 every single round with the best of parts from his self-sponsored, from the family Drift Mafia, making that car do exactly what it needs to do. Lots of angle, nearly losing it before crossing the line, but does so finishing out that run. Will it be an improvement?
Yeah, I mean, 3 clutch kicks, 3 hard clutch kicks around zone 3 alone. Great to hear there from Bartek.
I saw clutch kicks on the shelf up in Drift Mafia stalls, so he's perfect, all right.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't have a lot of angle around 5, and I think the judges there just not seeing enough to improve him. It's an 87.3 on the second lap with good consistent scores from young Bartek. We'll see him in for battle action later on. He's way up there now. The man who is currently topping qualifying, the man who has the new gearbox, the new quick change, the young man from North Kerry, from my van, I believe.
That's for sure, Mike. You mentioned he plays on the simulator, and when you're on the simulator, you only go harder. You don't go for a second safe one just to get across the line. You go even harder, and I think so that's what Jack Mulvihill is going to do here. 95.7, huge score on the board for him already. Can he improve on that? I think he might just do so. Look at this consistency from the young man from North Kerry. 16 years of age, the youngest in the championship. I'm Craig Sloan saying topping qualifying at the moment. Can he get an even better score? Incredible stuff. Consistency to a key. Round of applause for young Jack Mulvihill.
Yeah, great run there from young Mulvihill. I mean, we saw his real potential starting to come through in Mondello this year. He had the best entries all weekend of any driver in any class in over the hill in Mondello. Really great here in Bishopscourt as well. 91.7 doesn't improve, but once again, double scores in the 90s for young Jack Mulvihill. Looking great for battle action, and he is cementing his spot as one of the top talents in Pro 2 competition. Now, Andrew Malloy is from over the road, and he's on a 92, so he'll be a happy man in your favourite car, Adam.
That is for sure my favourite car. I never shut up about it every single round. Just a simple, clean E36, two-tone red and black, and always very well driven by the second of the Malloy brothers. It's Andrew out there. 92 on the board already, a great score. Can he improve on that? 330 brake horsepower, not a most powerful car on the grid today, nowhere near it in fact, but a very talented driver, always knows what to do, where to put the rear end of it, and that's what he does. He crosses the line.
Yeah, let's see, does he improve? Typical, technically really good from Andrew Malloy. Where's Peter sitting actually? Peter definitely another great technical driver, but Andrew Malloy with an 89.7 doesn't improve as well, but is looking very good. Peter and Andrew actually sitting alongside each other in 4th and 5th now. So Peter is on 93.3, Andrew is on 92. Dylan Wilson on 91.7, still to run. Now Jack Kelly is a man who's on 78. He's well up here in the championship, the last rookie driver to make a pass up the course. He is currently not qualifying for battle action. He's pretty cool, he's pretty calm in the JZX 90 Mark II Adam. I think he has the mental stability to put in a big lap here.
That's for sure. Having pressure plate issues yesterday just after practice. Think he got that all sorted for himself. He's back out there on track. Probably one of the longest cars on the grid today, as in actual size, and a very powerful car at that 670 brake horsepower. This used to be his road car. He's popped out to the shop for milk in this, but look at this. He's not popping for milk right now. He's popping rear tires off it as he burns rubber 78 on the board, not in battle action at the moment. I think that might just be enough to put him in there.
Yeah, I mean, he left 5 a little bit early there. Just going to say not a big improvement. And Jack Kelly doesn't qualify for battle action, but does score an 80 for the rookie championship. But Jack Kelly not qualifying for battle action here. Very high cutoff here at round 3 of IDS Pro 2. Now Glenn McKillen also on an 80, not qualifying. Way up there in the championship, but currently not in battle action. He sits in 7th in the championship here, guys, and he is not qualifying. So if he wants to be taking a championship podium, wants to be taking that pro license next year, he has to do it here, Adam.
He sure does, Mike. And can he? We're about to find out. Is that 180 SX, sponsored by We Buy Cars in a very stylish livery, pink, yellow, green. Looking very cool here as it comes into zone 3. A bit of a drag on the handbrake. The handbrake tracks are really going to be a killer of scores here. Trout qualifying. Won't matter too much when we get to battle action, but look at this. As he's putting down a lot more of a solid run here, keeping it nice and wide through every zone. A bit shallow on the track there, maybe transition early for zone 6, but makes it work for himself. The young man from County Wicklow, can he improve?
Yeah, well, he's going to have to here because 7th in the championship and not qualifying, even though we are running a system this year where you can drop 1 round. So it'll be 5 out of 6 rounds scored, and Glenn McKillen does improve. He scores an 85, dropping Dale McBreen down in the 33rd position. So Dale McBreen not qualifying, that is unusual to hear, but Glenn McKillen does qualify with an 85. Now we move along. Niall McInerney also not qualifying. Big flick in from the Clareman. Beautiful flick to angle in the E36 BMW. Now gets it rotated back onto the wall. Drags the handbrake to keep the BMW out of the wall. Nice technique there. He is allowed to use the handbrake as he enters 3. Judging wall marker down massively for that. Hits the limiter here as he passes us in the tower. Beautiful on the wall once again as he enters 5. He is going to be improving here if he holds it together. He does hold it together, kicks the clutch once again in the BMW, crosses the line. That's an improvement from the Clareman. And Finbar Crowley, Cathal O'Grady and Francie Hines are now in trouble.
That is for sure, Mike. Niall McInerney sitting in the Pro 2 category. His brother Jason in the Pro 1. He does improve, Mike. It's an 86 on the board for himself, putting him into joint 20th position at the moment with David Richards and Niall McInerney, but unfortunately knocking Finbar Crowley out of it. And yeah, Cathal O'Grady on the drop zone.
Yeah, so Finbar Crowley had a 71.3 in his 2nd run, and that is the lowest out of him, Francie Hines and Cathal O'Grady. So Cathal O'Grady now is the man in danger. Jamie Hines is not in danger, but he wants to qualify higher here. We thought he did a bit better on the first run, Adam, and he has a little bit of a waver there, not a beautiful snap to angle. Quite a lot of adjustments here on this bumpy airfield track.
That's for sure. You can see him dragging the handbrake there and then put his foot to the floor as the car takes off away again. Lots of grip in the rear end of this car, set up for the Pro 2s. We've seen him time and time again make his way into the Pro 1s and put it up to them. He's a driver we're going to see lots of in the future. Let's get you there through the final zone. Safe on his first qualifying run. Not too sure will it be an improvement. We're going to find out. Jamie Hines is only second year competing.
Yeah, I mean, a huge up-and-coming talent. He's a guy we're going to be seeing should they decide to stay in the sport. And he doesn't improve. It's an 84 for Jamie Hines. Quite a waver there on entry, and it messed up his line a bit and his style points. But yeah, we're going to be seeing lots more Jamie Hines, and he's a top battler. He's a great chase driver, so I wouldn't worry too much about his qualifying position. Now, David Ford is leaving the line in the big skyline. It's an 83.7. The man who's way up in the championship is way down in qualifying order. He really needs to improve here to buy himself an easier battle, as the supremely understressed 1UZ Turbo just saunters its way around the track here, sounding like it's ticking over.
That's for sure. We were chatting to him earlier on just after briefing this morning. He says his ratio isn't exactly right for this, so he can't even get the car to the limiter, entering in 4th gear. But finishing out his run there, I'd say he dropped it down for the shallower parts. Yeah, making it work for himself. 83.7, 30th position at the moment. Is he going to put himself into a safer position? He doesn't. 82.7, very consistent, but he might just be unlucky here if the rest of the drivers that aren't in qualifying at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
higher. Just looking at our score sheet at the moment.
Well, he will be safe, David Ford, at this stage, and
oh yes.
So Justin Murphy. So yeah, I think Jake McElveen is next. Is that a 2 or a 7? It's an 87. So Jake McElveen is safe for competition. Trying to read my own handwriting there, guys. Sorry. A beautiful flick in. Look at this. In the one stock, I believe, RB25, I'm told by Stephen, his dad. the beautiful 180SX. And looking for all the world like a pro car, and all the world a pro driver, to be honest. Jake McLeveen, along with Dylan Wilson and a few more of the guys, Jamie Hines, I think, will be buying themselves a pro license next year, and he's showing exactly why here, Adam. He's just absolutely inch perfect.
Mike, this run is not getting the appreciation it deserves. Every outer edge white line has just been painted with tyre marks. An incredible run from the man in his home track, from County Down himself. 87.3 on the board, 91.3 on his second qualifying run. A round of applause for him. That putting him higher up on the board now in 7th position.
Yeah, I mean, we know that that's what he's capable of. I'm not surprised. I was actually surprised that he didn't score in the 90s in his first one, because he's always, you know, thereabouts in the 90s. So Dylan Wilson is in the 90s on his first run. Can he top qualifying? The Derryman with a 91.7 in the E92, big angle on entry. Look at this beautiful flick in the Turkey Fighter, leaves too beautifully. Now just gets on the handbrake, settles the car into outer zone 3. Perfect outside line here, Adam.
It sure is. The pilot himself, Dylan Wilson, pushing it right out to zone 4 here now. Lots of limiter, lots of pops and bangs. That car sounding incredible and looking incredible as always. 650 brake horsepower, but driving like it has 1,000. Dylan Wilson puts it across the line. 91.7 on the board. Is he going to improve?
Yeah, great run. He's under geared, Adam. He's way under geared. He's hitting the limiter for the whole track here. He needs another 10 miles an hour in gear, and I think he'd be unstoppable, but it's a great run overall. It's a 92.7 for Dylan Wilson. He does improve, and that drops him into fifth position. Yeah, so great score there for the Derrymen in the E92. And guys, we are to the last car here in IDS round 3 Pro 2 qualifying here in Bishopscourt. It is Justin Murphy, our championship leader, currently sitting in midfield only on a 97 or 87, sorry. We did mention that he's not a qualifier, he's a battler, Adam, but you know what, a higher qualification position won't hurt him here.
That's for sure, Mike, and he's going to go for it. Look at this entry from Justin Murphy. Not right out in our edge, but lots of aggression. He will be scored for that as well. 87 on the board for himself. Definitely seen him in battle action now. The last run of round 3 is qualifying. Justin Murphy, lots of pace here. We'll see him in battle action where he really does shine, show his talent, fulfilling every single zone the way he should do, and crosses the line, closing us out for qualifying here of round 3.
Yeah, big angle there across the line as well from Justin Murphy, leaving the judges something to think about across the last section of the course. And the 35-year-old from Kildare does improve, guys. It's a big score from Justin Murphy. He goes into the 90s with a 90.7, putting him into 9th position. So 9th position there for Justin Murphy. And that does conclude our top 32 qualifying here with 65 cars after making 2 passes of the course, Adam.
That's for sure, Mike. I predicted earlier on 83 was going to be the drop zone. I was very close, 83.3. It just shows the difference in scores from the start of the day of when we were thinking 70s and so on were quite good. They're not now compared to what we're seeing. Drivers getting 95.7. Incredible stuff.
Absolutely. So, Adam, Pro 2 is your show. Would you like to call out our top 32 qualifiers, guys? And if you're in the pits listening to this, get your car ready, because we are going to get ready for battle action pretty quickly here at round 3.
That is for sure, Mike. Topping qualifying here is a young man coming up from the south. It's Jack Mulvihill at 95.7. Incredible score. He'll be taking on the young man at the bottom of the grid in 32nd position, Cottle O'Grady in 83.3, followed by Francis Hines, Stephen Wills, David Ford in 29th position, Alex Williams coming up from UK, a bit of a crasher in his second run, so hopefully we've seen him back out in 28. Kieran Dwyer in his original car after characters yesterday, 84, Ryan Nally 85, Glenn McKillen 85 points on the board, Brad Downpatrick 85.3, he's going to be happy with that in 24th position. Demetrius Balkos 85.7 for himself. Owen Foran, the pizza man himself, 22nd position with 86. Niall McInerney 86. David Richards 86. Quite a few drivers on the 86 mark. Maximus Bagzius at 86.7. Ross Parson 87. Jamie Hines middle of the board with 87. Ronan Doherty on 87.3. David Flaherty 88, Tom Hayden in 14th position with 88.3, Alan Colty joining Nathan Corcoran on a matched 89.3 on 12th and 13th position, Niall Looney Ericus Naviskos on 90.7. Justin Murphy, our Pro 2 leader at the moment, on 90.7 in A position. Jake McElveen, 91.3. Andrew Malloy on 92. And in our top 5, we have Dylan Wilson, the pilot himself, on 92.7, followed by the second of the Lloyd brothers, Peter Malloy, on 93.3. And our top 3, Marcus Heinen with an incredible run of 94, Andrew Kenna, and as I mentioned before, Jack Mullifield, the young man, putting a show out there, 95.7, topping it. What an incredible few runs we just had there for round 3 qualifying here of the Irish Drift Series in Bishopscourt. Diff and Drift, Northern Ireland's home of drifting.
Absolutely, Adam. Yeah, stacked grid for the top 32 here, guys, in the second tier Irish Championship, which is massively entertaining in its own right. Of course, if you think that's good, we will be back with top 32 battle action, where we see 2 cars on track at 3:30. So 3:30 we're back. A little bit late here, qualifying took a little bit longer than expected. So guys, join us once again at 3:30.
That's for sure, Mike. And before we go, so I made a promise to everyone we were going to announce a winner of our competition as well, just after running the randomizer here on the comment picker, or the competition picker for our Instagram and Facebook competition, and our winner has been chosen. It is Derek Makes Tracks, so that is Derek_Makes Tracks, spelled TRAXX, on Instagram, who has won our competition for tomorrow, who'll be getting a free entry ticket for himself, as well as some swaggy IDS merch and the opportunity to experience what it's like in a pro level drift car out on track, getting a passenger spin for himself. So that'll be a real treat for him. Once again, thank you very much to everyone here that is in attendance in Bishopscourt. We'll be back with you again very shortly for battle action, and thank you again to all our sponsors. We'll see you very shortly. Bye bye.